No, Destiny's already said he's not addressing this in any way. He's not, literally, he's never going to talk about this. He said that. Literally never will he talk about this. Every other drama he's been in, he's been totally happy to fight it, to eventually... Even before, he was implying that when the litigation's over, maybe he'll talk about it. But no, now it is, he will never talk about it. Connor, get this guy out of chat. Connor, remove this guy from chat. Connor, ban that guy. Connor, ban that chatter now. Go, Connor.
He's very charismatic.
Brianna Wu looks like a claymation character. She should be in Wallace and Gromit.
Wait, a Counterpoints and Brianna Wu are talking about this right now.
I just didn't want to get involved.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Content. Let's go.
Just to kind of give you what's going on with me before we get into
the worst people you know just made a bunch of terrible points. That's this video,
content,
by the way.
I guess. And apologies to anybody who's watching this as a VOD. You can skip ahead if you want to. But yeah, what's going on with me? So still working. We're actually very close to 100K on Warhammer 40, Counterpoints 40K, the Warhammer channel.
Thank you for the 10 euros, Q. Hugely appreciate it. Thank you so much. Thank you. Emergency update.
Smile.
What's the emergency update? Wait, is it just a Spinal thing? Spinal's retweeting Connie stuff on Twitter. Okay, I don't care that Spinal's retweeting Lolly stuff on Twitter, okay?
Jesus Christ, chat's already gone off. Jesus. So the Counterpoints 40K channel is doing well. I did start Counterpoints Star Wars. So I'm basically doing a Star Wars breakdown channel in the same formula. Counterfire, you're obviously here. We are working on essays. Believe it or not, I had a Mr. Girl Destiny report summary that I had already scripted and shot prior to this drama. Literally, it was like last week or a week and a half ago. I'd already shot it, and I DM'd Mr. Girl because I was like, okay, well, I'm spending a decade picking apart Destiny's life and being a little bit critical. I should spend a little bit of time analyzing Mr. Girl's life and see if I can be a little bit critical there. That might be an interesting juxtaposition. But he did cancel the interview about himself because I think he assumed that it was like I was going to do I didn't read the whole tweet. It was very long. But I think he assumed that because I was making jokes out of the current drama, he assumed that I was going to sweep in some kind of like debate thing with him, which wasn't the case. I was actually going to talk to him about him. So now I need to talk to Kuihman about him because I think Kuihman is the position. But he did cancel the interview about himself because I think he assumed that it was like I was going to do I didn't read the whole tweet. It was very long. But I think he assumed that because I was making jokes out of the current drama, he assumed that I was going to sweep in some kind of like debate thing with him, which wasn't the case. I was actually going to talk to him about him. So now I need to talk to Kuihman about him because I think Kuihman is the Mr. Girl, the Mr. Girl documentarian.
Yeah.
So just checking in on chat. Quentin.
Oh yeah, that's true. He was gonna. Yeah. He was asking me to help with his Mr. Girl Destiny report summary, wasn't he? And I agreed, didn't I? Yeah.
Tarantino says jail the gnome. Well, we'll see how that shakes out. I think the cops might have a little bit more to do, but it also depends on the breadth of the scale. Right now, for those of you who don't know, actually, let's get everyone caught up who might not be aware. So, Stephen Bennell, also known as Destiny, one of the first and largest Twitch and YouTube political streamers. He got very large. Hassan Piker is a former orbiter of his. Vosh is a former orbiter of his. Very famous for bombastic debates. He dominated and has dominated and may even dominate in the future Twitch and YouTube politics, especially the debate scene. And he's kind of, been on a hot streak for a decade, basically. And he's had dramas and he's had relationship fallouts. But I think that this is probably the biggest damage that he's taken to his career so far. And what happened, okay?
Wait, dude. This is so embarrassing. The right-wing grift looks so much easier. Holy fuck, salute. It might just be time to jump ship. I'm so sorry. Fuck it, bros. I mean, it's probably bottom to top, right? Yeah. Fuck it, bros. It might be time to jump ship. I'm so sorry. Salute. This right-wing grift looks so much easier. Holy fuck. Dude.
So in 2022, there were a bunch of interpersonal dramas related to his wife and a distant right-wing creator named Lauren Southern, who I'm actually friends with. I still consider myself friends. I don't know how she'll feel about me talking honestly about everything going on, but they had a affair. To my knowledge, she didn't cheat on her husband. Her husband and her were already broken up, and she was a single mother at that point and going to Destiny for a sympathetic ear. And then he cheated on his wife, Melina, with whom he had an open relationship, but he minimized the relationship to Melina, which, for an open relationship, that's considered a form of cheating. Well, simultaneous to that, he was sexting a girl named Anna, who has some OCD. And then he was also sexting a 19-year-old OnlyFans model who I think is named Rose. And he was sending her pornographic images. And
okay, I don't believe that there's any confirmation she was even an OnlyFans model. I don't believe that's even true, because this is the whole thing with the age, right? The evidence for what age fucking girl was. I saw a Reddit post that compiled everything from across KF and all this shit the other day that was going through it. There's no hard evidence for what age this girl was. Solo, I believe, claimed she was 17 when she started talking to Destiny, and we have evidence of her selling nudes on Twitter. But there was never a confirmed OnlyFans. Now, she claimed 19, I believe, in the DMs. So it's just no one actually knows what there's not a verification on the age. There's not a verification on the age at all. And there's not a verification it's a hack either, obviously.
Photos and audio recordings. To our knowledge, all of the photos and videos were recorded with consent, but they were distributed without consent. And then the audio files, allegedly, okay, we're working with allegedly, were recorded without consent and distributed without consent. So, pretty brutal. Shake Doc says 4 viewers. Why?
Yeah, how do you get that many? The fuck?
We are live on YouTube as well. So we're, might have 5 on Twitch, but Twitch isn't my main platform. YouTube is. So we're kind of getting warmed up, and we got about 40 over on
There's
YouTube.
There's 5 people watching this shit?
Anyways.
4 viewers. Who rated?
Let's check chat again. Ved Sunil, as a center-left guy, it's going to take a lot of time to find someone similar. Might still listen to him with reservations. I mean, yeah, we're all fresh on it, right? We all, I think even tonight, as we're going over the drama, I'm gonna try to be as critical as I should be, but I'm sure that I'll have a subconscious urge to sweep as well, right? I've known this guy for what, 4 or 5 years. We've debated half a dozen times. We've hung out in person 3 or 4 times, right? Now we're not best friends. I'm not trying to exaggerate the level of our relationship, but I was just thinking about this today. I have friends from high school who are still local. They have kids and I have kids, so we don't have time to hang out because they're 30 minutes away. It's a logistical pain in the butt to get to their house, et cetera, et cetera. Them bringing their kids over here is a logistical nightmare. Me bringing my kids over to their house is a logistical nightmare. So talking on the internet is easier, right? So I've talked to Steven more in the past year than I've talked to some of my high school friends who live within 45 minutes. And so in some ways, I'm not saying he's my best friend, but I am saying in some ways I'm more familiar.
The Mole, feel free to join Discord if you have a disagreement. Otherwise, you're gone.
Here with Steven than people who I even call decent friends, good friends. Brutal. Eric Oda says, opinion on the executive order so far. If you mean the birthright citizenship order, I don't think it's going to go through. I think you have to kind of jump through hoops a little bit in order to get the anti-birthright citizenship take. I'm not saying it's not possible. I just think it's unlikely. No, if you peel back the layers, you get the juice, says James Emery. That's probably true. Canada Duke says, swear it's so annoying that Mr. Girl now acts like he has a right, even that he was right, even though he had no clue about any of this. Well, Canada Duke, we'll pull up the Mr. Girl report. We might go over it twice just since we're hanging out with chat right now. But he has this fucking, I said earlier that I like Max despite some of the horrific things he's done. But I swear to God, this motherfucker has autism, right? He has this tweet here about Ukrainian Anna, where he's basically excoriating her for...
Wait, should we go over these? Dude, he's so based.
Counterpoints said a minute ago he was sexting Anna as if it's news. Counterpoints would have definitely known of Anna during them girl arc. Yeah,
I think you found out with other people that Destiny was sexting Anna. Let's pull up the Mr. Girl and Anastasia tweets. Dude, this is so it's so base. Just go after fucking Ukrainian Anna relentlessly. It's so funny. And you self-serving, yo, they were $20 at being a white guy.
I have watched Destiny's videos for a couple years. I've also been a Mr. Girl enjoyer but definitely didn't take the report as seriously as I should have. My confession is on the record.
Yeah, can't close with him is punching the air right now. Punching the air reading this shit. Yes! Yes! Correction needed. A new self-serving Orbiter statement has dropped as the rats continue to flee the Destiny ship and try to absorb as much of his audience as possible. Ukrainian Anna writes on the Destiny subreddit, I don't plan to do any statements on Twitter so far. I don't owe obsessive Destiny haters any explanations and then go fuck themselves with their harassment regardless of anything. This is a common tactic with Destiny sycophants trying to escape the fallout. They wish to distance themselves from any past criticism that's already been dismissed as deranged, yet also criticize Destiny for the exact same reasons. The purpose, of course, is to paint themselves as innocent despite sticking around when Destiny's abusive tendencies were already widely known. Anna writes, sharing someone's sexual content with a third party without their consent is fucked up. Steven, in my opinion, didn't try to maliciously hurt anyone, but it happened anyway due to him sharing it in the first place. He was a victim of revenge porn, but he also victimized someone else. That being said, if a friend admits they fucked up big time and is remorseful, I wouldn't cut them off 100% IRL for this sort of action. Same applies here. So, even though she's about to go on to condemn Destiny for secretly recording Cherry, she goes out of her way to assure us that she'd have stood by Destiny if all he did was non-consensually leak the sex tapes of Pixie and others. She's assuring the cult that she would enable some level of abuse, a requirement for membership, so they shouldn't see her as betraying Destiny. She continues, however, recording someone in a sexual act without their knowing/consent is a whole other dimension of fucked up in my opinion, if that's indeed what happened. Then, I don't think I could ever trust a person like that with literally anything. Now, I'm not saying anyone should 100% believe this with no evidence. I fully plan to wait and see. Fair enough. Then she writes, now, let's address an elephant in the room. I have no idea where this leaves me and my volunteer work. My trip to the US to meet everyone and do bridges is cancelled, obviously. Bridges themselves might be. But when it comes to volunteer work, I'm at a loss. It wasn't Steven donating, but DGG community, and the community didn't do anything. But it's all connected, obviously. I can already hear screeching, way to make it about yourself, but it isn't. It's about hundreds, if not thousands, of Ukrainian soldiers I was fortunate enough to help, thanks to Steven and DGG. This is very similar to Pisco's statement about the sadness of his political work with Destiny being halted by Destiny's abusive conduct. Anna, too, was able to do significant political advocacy with Destiny's cult-like community backing her. Now, she would like those people to keep funding her work, even after she cut ties with Destiny. The implication, again, is that she had no idea that Destiny was capable of this horrible behavior. But Anna, you did know. You were aware of my report on Destiny, and the summary section is only 2 pages long. It includes stories about Destiny leaking nudes, threatening to leak nudes, threatening to kill people, lying, secretly recording people, and more. You willingly ignored those documented incidents for clout and money. Below are screenshots of your tweets about my report, released just prior. Your initial tweet announces that I hadn't contacted you for an interview, which was true. Though I suspected Destiny had made sexual advances towards you, I didn't bother asking about it because I anticipated you would throw me and his victims under the bus to appease him, which you did anyway. You also acknowledge that your funding is dependent on staying in Destiny's good graces. So, here you are, openly admitting that you're dependent on Destiny while you sit on his known victims for money. The only ethical thing for you to do now, like the others, is to acknowledge that you turned a blind eye to Destiny's abusive behavior and apologize to the victims you stepped on along the way. Okay, I see a bunch of reflexive people who have still got the chip in their head, the trash panda chip in their head, saying things like, but she's in a war. If this had happened 6 months ago, you'd be saying, but it's an election year. Okay, here's the reality. She might be in a war. She might want to align with Destiny to try and get money. Then don't make fucking statements about his abuse. Don't make statements about his abuse. Don't make statements about the Destiny report. Why are you making statements about that? Why are you speaking on that? Sorry, 6 months ago, if it was someone else, you'd be saying it's an election year. Retard, engage with the fucking point. Why is she making statements about whether Destiny's abusive? Why is she making statements about the Destiny report? That's what she's being held to account to here. If she didn't say anything about it, she'd be fine. But she did. She decided to defend. That's not part of her getting funding. She doesn't have to be the Destiny Defense Force to get funding. She's had to not criticize him. She went out of her way to try and shore up his position. Someone in the waiting room. Who have we got? This could be someone totally worthless. Hello?
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yeah, I was the guy in your chat.
Okay,
before.
the one I banned. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, what did I ban you for? I can't remember the chat log.
I was the mole, if you remember that chat.
I remember the name. I don't remember what you said. What did you? Oh, Destiny's the primary victim, right?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I think you would agree that the only harm Pixie has sustained really is the Streisand effect. That's what I would say.
Nope.
No.
No, Pixie was suffering harm when the leaks came out initially.
Well, she was suffering harm. She was suffering harm, but not when it comes to like how would I say external forces and people kind of harassing you.
No, there were people harassing. No, you're wrong. There were people harassing her from when the leaks came out.
Okay, well, I'm making a comparative judgment.
No, you're engaging with the point. You're going to stop reframing. You're going to engage with the point. That was completely fucking wrong. She's been getting harassed since the moment the leaks come out.
To the same degree Destiny has?
I don't care about degrees.
Well, my point is Destiny is the main victim here.
Well, that's incorrect because Destiny is a victim of his own decision making. He decided to send this content. Pixie had no say in whether this content was sent to this person or not.
And so, you do agree that Destiny did not leak the images and videos, right?
What do you mean by leak?
Well, insofar as Destiny's actions go,
define leak. Define leak.
Hold on. Insofar as Destiny's actions are
define leak.
Publicly disperse information.
It's only a leak if it's public. It's only a leak if it's public.
Yes.
So you don't think that privately sending something to a bunch of people could be leaking?
Oh, I mean, you kind of get to a point where a bunch of people can basically mean it's public, right?
Yeah. Like if Destiny had been sending around a bunch of audio recordings and videos without the consent of the people involved to community members and random egos.
The context of the medium to which he sent those were in private DMs, not in public Discord.
But you just said that there's an extent to which it could essentially be public because it's being sent to so many people, right? So if Destiny was sending it to untrustworthy people that are part of his community and he doesn't know online, then wouldn't that be?
My point is not if you send it individually. Right, there's a difference between sending a video individually to 5 people and sending a video to a chat room, which can be accessed by 10 people or 5 people.
What was Destiny's? Sorry, can I just saying, what was Destiny's justification for going public with all the Melina stuff during the divorce?
She went public first with shit.
Nope,
she did.
Nope. She wasn't going public. She was talking to people behind the scenes, one-on-one.
Okay, no.
But Destiny said. What did Destiny say? What did Destiny say? He said, if you say something to enough people behind the scenes, especially in content creation, that's essentially making it public.
He's
Destiny
correct,
had an army defending him.
That's not
Destiny
a universal
was
rule.
getting
It
cheered
didn't
for
apply
being
for
a
this
sex god
situation.
by
Why doesn't it apply for this situation?
He was being mocked.
Because we can look back and see that the leak happened, the significant leak, or I'll even concede it, Destiny leaked it. The significant leak, which caused majority of the harm, happened independent of Destiny.
Okay. No, that's not true. Why did the person who leaked the stuff have the content of Pixie? Why did they have it?
Containment Discord.
That's irrelevant, though.
It's very relevant.
Destiny is the primary victim.
No, because
it's incredibly relevant. It's incredibly relevant because whose decision making was it that led them to that?
It doesn't matter if Destiny.
It does matter because you're saying Destiny's the primary victim, but Destiny is suffering due to his own decisions. Pixie is suffering as a completely innocent party who did not bring any of this on herself.
Due to her own decisions as well. You risk something like that by existing in the world. Like, I don't get your point.
You risk it by existing in the world. Just being alive is a risk factor for that dude. That's the most retarded thing I've ever heard.
But again,
this is highly embarrassing. So Destiny's the main victim, despite it being entirely his fault that he
entirely.
Entirely his fault. Yeah.
Well, if we do an infinite regress, I'm sure the Big Bang Theory is also at fault here. Yeah.
You're great engagement points. It's entirely Destiny's fault because he has repeatedly sent this content out to many people. That's why there's a bunch of women now talking behind the scenes about how they've received this content, have been sent other people content. Like
not verifiable. Not verifiable.
It's verifiable to me.
Okay, so your standard is someone making an accusation.
Nope.
So what evidence do you have that the other women are victims too, besides the fact they have levied an accusation?
Well, the fact that I know that there's other people that have verified that these recordings do exist, that these recordings do seem to
verify. How can you trust that the?
Because Destiny why hasn't Destiny denied it?
Why hasn't he?
Yeah, why hasn't Destiny denied that he recorded Cherry without consent while they were having sex?
He's not made an affirmative or
yeah. Of course, he's not going to admit it. Why hasn't he denied it? I would deny that. If someone said that about me, well, wait. Cherry's not suing him.
She's taking him to. I thought she
even if that's the case, why could he not? If he didn't do it, surely he could say he didn't do it. He could deny wrongdoing, right? Why would the lawyer advise him to not deny wrongdoing?
This is not how the law works.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. If you didn't do something and you know you didn't do it, you can almost always deny it. There's like it's only if there is some question or you might be caught.
Hold on. I'm not saying you cannot deny it, but you can't extract.
So why isn't Destiny denying it?
Guilty.
So why isn't Destiny? So answer this. Why is Destiny not denying that allegation?
I don't know, but what I'm saying is it doesn't.
Can you spitball it with me? Can you spitball it with me? Why do you think Destiny might not be denying that allegation?
Well, I'm sure you think there's only one reason, and that reason falls directly into your narrative that he's I'm just asking,
why hasn't he denied it? Why hasn't he? Give me another explanation.
It's a stupid question.
Why is it a stupid question? Give me another explanation.
I'm not doing this. I'm sorry.
Okay, so you can't find a single other explanation for why he's not denying it other than he did it.
Again, you can't just extract guilt from.
I'm not extracting guilt. It's circumstantial evidence. If you're presented with allegations and you refuse to deny it, that says something about the situation
I'll spitball here. If you read his Reddit post, right? Mm-hmm. What does he say right at the end? He says right at the end he denies all legal wrongdoing. You can then imply from that he denies implicitly what Cherry said was alleged.
That's not true.
So Cherry's alleging an action which is illegal. I don't get it. What you're saying?
No, but he could be denying that what he did wasn't against the law, not denying the specific action.
Oh, so you're saying he doesn't know the law and he's just right? So
it's a vague statement. That is a very legally coded statement.
You're making things up.
No, I'm interpreting the statement.
I'm not doing Thosbra. You joined the show.
So if I said I've never ever done anything illegal in my life, and then someone comes out and accuses me of doing something illegal, you can imply from that I deny what they're saying. You can pretty easily, right?
You can.
Okay, so that's my answer. He said on
that's one reading of that statement, and I'm giving you another reading. I'm saying that he could be saying that it's simply not against the law. He hasn't denied the specific allegation. He's just giving a general statement of I have not broken the law.
Of his time reading the law. I'm sure the man who's dedicated a lot of his time reading the law definitely doesn't know the law. I'm sure. Yeah.
It's not about whether he knows the law or not. Obviously, the statement isn't honest, is it?
How is it not? How is it honest? I don't understand.
What do you mean? How could you want to go over the statement and go over all the bullshit reframing and dishonesty that happens in it?
I don't think anything was dishonest.
You don't think anything was dishonest in that statement?
I'm going to read it again. I've read it once.
You don't think it's dishonest to say that Pixie was just after money when she said that she was okay with it going to charity and she just wanted to see punishment?
Well, that wasn't in the subreddit, but we can address that.
What statement are we talking about?
Aside, Kuihman. This is
I was talking about. So you know he made that and now the legal arc begins.
Yeah, you mean the Reddit post that I just referenced where he said that Pixie was just after money? That statement that we're both talking about, where he says Pixie is just after money.
She could just be after. She could just be after money. Yeah, so it's entirely possible.
Okay, so why did she say she's fine with the money going to charity?
Like how you are making things up as you go. Maybe she just wants to.
What have I made up? Wait, what have I made up?
You made up the. Well, you said that just because he hasn't commented on something means he's guilty.
That's not what I said. That's not what I said.
Yes, you did.
No, I didn't. I asked you why he hasn't denied it.
And I said he did deny it.
No, he didn't.
No,
he didn't. He claimed no legal wrongdoing. He didn't deny the specific allegation. He didn't deny the action.
Do you understand the idea of things like implied things and reductions and deducing and all that stuff?
Yeah, I'm not sure you do.
So in life, when people use language, do you have to say specifically X, Y, Z, or can you maybe from A, B, C deduce X, Y, Z?
I don't know why you're just rattling through the alphabet now. That didn't make any sense.
Well, I'm asking, do you know what logical deductions are?
Yep.
Okay. So
here's a great one.
deduce...
Okay, here's a great one. So why is Destiny not denying the specific allegation against him of recording people without their consent while having sex with them?
He did.
Can we try and look? No, he didn't. Show me the statement. Where did he say he has never recorded someone without consent while having sex with them?
Well, he didn't say that verbatim, but
no, he said it made a vague statement of no legal wrongdoing, right?
But you can deduce from that he didn't know, since it's illegal.
You can deduce from someone saying I have committed no legal wrongdoing in a statement about lawsuits that wasn't even about that allegation, that he denies that allegation, that specific allegation. That's what you read from that.
I think he uses let me just double check. I'm pretty sure he uses
the Cherry allegation came out after the Reddit post as well, I'm pretty sure.
I think he uses
the Cherry post came out after the Reddit post, I'm pretty sure. So that doesn't even apply.
Doesn't matter since it's happened in the past. That doesn't mean it makes
So you think Destiny has never done anything illegal?
There's definitely no verifiable evidence, no.
There's no verifiable evidence Destiny's ever done anything illegal. What about the times he's taken drugs in states where they're not legal?
I don't know about that, but he used the word any, so that
I know about that. I know about that. Okay, I know that Destiny's taken drugs in states where they're not legal. I know that Destiny's done illegal drugs in many places. So when Destiny says I've committed no legal wrongdoing, obviously that is a reference to the specific Pixie allegation, isn't it? He's not saying I've never done anything illegal ever. That would be ridiculous for him to claim.
Or maybe he's claiming he's never done anything illegal insofar as...
No, he's responding to the Pixie allegation. He's responding to the Pixie allegation about the league.
What does the word any mean? Any.
It means any. It means anything. Anything involved. All of it. It can be any of them.
If he says...
But it's about the things that he's mentioning. But it's about the things you're being gaslit. It's about the things that are mentioned in that Reddit post. The thing that he's responding to. Anything here. Any. It's in context. Any. In a context. It's in a statement about the lawsuits being filed. And he says any wrongdoing in that statement, in that context, in that range. Okay. It's in that. It doesn't extend to his whole life. Yeah, in that context, in the context of the conversations happening at that time, he has obviously violated laws at various points in his life. He's sped, you know, he's exceeded the speed limit. Well, of course, he's broken laws, obviously.
You can deduce then that he hasn't done anything vis-a-vis Pixie, which is illegal. And he's made a specific statement regarding that.
He made a specific denial of the Pixie situation. Yeah. He didn't respond to the Cherry situation, which is what we were just talking about. So now you've acknowledged that statement. So now you've acknowledged that statement was not even. There's nothing to respond to. Cherry accused him of recording sex without consent. What do you mean there's nothing to respond to? And that's not the first time he's been accused of that either.
I'm sure the accusations of what Destiny has done and not done stretch around the block. You just have to respond to anything. Everything, right?
What do you think Destiny meant when he said he was recording Grindr hookups with his phone in his pocket?
It's the total. I don't get what you mean. It literally says what it says.
What sort of context would you have why would you have your phone in your pocket recording during a sexual encounter? Why wouldn't you just have it out in the open?
Why do people do anything in sex? I don't know. You're asking ridiculous questions.
Yeah, it's not a ridiculous question at all. Why would you have your phone in your pocket recording audio instead of just putting it out on the table or something?
Have you proven that those recordings were done non-consensually?
I haven't. I'm asking a question about this story. I haven't said anything about non-consensual. Why would you record a hookup from your pocket? What sort of reasons can you come up with? Can you come up with a reason?
I'll answer the question.
Go for it, please.
Insofar as consenting adults go, I don't have to answer anything to do with motivations.
Okay, I'm going to ask you again. Why would you record a Grindr hookup with your phone in your pocket instead of putting it out on the table or out in the open?
Okay, because he prefers to. I don't know his preferences, but he does.
He prefers to. Is that the only reason you can think of?
Well, what's your reason?
My reason is because I believe he non-consensually, without disclosing, recorded Grindr hookups, like he has been accused of doing with Cherry, with Lauren De Laguna.
Is it necessarily the case that if one records something inside of their pocket, that means it's non-consensual?
It's not necessarily the case, no. But if you tell that story and you don't claim that anyone consented,
you're just fishing. You're just fishing.
I'm not remotely fishing. I'm not remotely fishing. Why would you record a grinder hookup with your phone in your pocket? Why would someone do that? Someone with multiple allegations, of recording without consent. Yeah, it is more likely that.
More likely.
Yeah, it is more likely that.
Show me the mathematic where it's more likely than not. What's that even mean?
Are you fucking retarded?
Okay. I mean, I can't enter Destiny's mind, so I don't know his motivations and preferences, really. So.
Oh well, you've completely embarrassed yourself here. So I hope you're happy with that.
No, it's just you're just making things up.
Who's making? What do I make up? What do I make up?
Well, what you're doing is you're hiding behind this like this facade of hypotheticals, just like spitball and go fishing to smear his character. It's just sickening, really. That's all it is. You're
just smearing his character, yeah. Even though he's been proven to have sent images and videos of Pixie without consent. He's admitted that.
All right, let me ask you a question. How many people did he send videos to?
I don't know.
Of Pixie. You don't know?
Don't know.
So could it be one person?
It could be one. I've heard it's more.
What verifiably, how many people
verifiably, there is one.
So this whole issue is that he sent, insofar as evidence goes, videos and pictures to one person. That's all this is, right?
Nope.
That's not the issue? Like, you just said that's a whole issue. Sorry, you said that was all there was. That's not all there was.
The Destiny Manifesto.
Sorry, if you just want to talk about...
verifiable.
That's not true. Not true. Not true.
The cherry stuff is complete bunk.
The cherry stuff is bunk, yeah?
Insofar as you can, what you can.
Okay,
prove,
no. You're a Destiny fan. You're a Destiny fan. I want to make a bet with you. I want to bet $500 within the next 6 months. The cherry stuff is proven out.
You know what? I'll stay in your Discord server.
He admitted to sending Cs without consent.
$500 on the cherry stuff.
To even
cool.
just one person
catch you later.
is against the law. So he has indeed broken the law.
Thank you for the donos. We've got someone else here. Who is Boogie?
Hello.
Hi.
Right, so when I joined this, it was before that whole schizo rant.
Okay.
So, man, that guy was fucking retarded.
Kuihman,
so I need to. So my only disagreement with you was on that Mr. Girl was right.
Okay, I mean, I'm saying that I'm sort of being hyperbolic when I say that. Obviously, there were points where he was wrong and he didn't do everything exactly right, and the report was not well written. All these caveats, but yeah, sure, go for it.
Well, then I think we agree. Sorry.
Oh, okay, right, yeah. I'm saying Mr. Girl was right. I'm being tongue-in-cheek to express a point about how Destiny actually was kind of a weird, abusive, deceptive freak. I'm not actually saying the Mr. Girl report was like totally perfect and proved its points perfectly well and substantiated everything. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying it's sort of like a tongue-in-cheek way of saying like a lot of the conclusions end up coming to pass.
Yeah.
Just totally clear.
Well, then I think we're in full agreement. By the way, that was painful to listen to. I hope you get a good video out of that.
All right, I'll catch you later. Thanks for coming on.
All right, cheers.
Yes. All right. Cool. I've not been following what is cooking in the omniliberal universe for some time. I did some catching up, and now I'm borderline salty that Mr. Girl returns to approach me for his article. On a scale of 1 to 10, how abused am I? I want to know. Vulnerable young lady from Eastern European country. Got to score high on that one. You're basically a virtual mail-order bride. I know, right? And my volunteer work, as in aid to my country, legit fully depends on the benevolence of God Emperor Destiny's community, yet nothing. I have nothing but good things to say, both about Stephen and his community. Very funny. Okay, let's get back to watching Counterfire, I guess. We're enjoying Counterfire, yeah?
Working with Destiny and kind of like taking a shot at him. And you can tell that this post has like a fuckload of ego in it. And it's like, yeah, Anna was sympathetic and more sympathetic to Stephen, a guy who got local volunteers in her community, who is currently at war, by the way. Like, you can go on her profile and just watch her in her apartment getting, like, rocket artillery striked. And DGG funded tens of thousands of dollars for equipment for the local militia. What matters more, Max? Your fucking beef with Ukrainian Anna or the fucking war? Like, of course she's going to prioritize the war, you fucking... I'm trying not to get too angry. But this is like a mind-numbingly retarded fucking take. And you can tell that he's up his own ass about it. Right? So, in light of recent events, I will be doing a special emergency episode of my call-in show called Mr. Girl Hotline, I Told You So. It's like, bro, I thought, you know, I don't hold streamers to any high you know, any high level of behavior. But we're pretending that we care about the victims. We're pretending that we care about like the morality and the principles and the abuse and all that kind of shit. And then here's this motherfucker. He's got like a thumbnail that he shot with his arms up like this with sunglasses on saying, I'm right. It's like, motherfucker, like, are you upset and disgusted by sex abuse, or are you jerking off your own ego because you feel like things are breaking your way after a long time of you being excoriated? You know, I think we all know what it actually is, which is he's proud. He's happy. Yuki Ishigo says, hey, really quick, Connor. If you want to talk to the best Mr. Girl experts, me and Emery are live now. We are behind Smith, probably the best Mr. Girl experts. You can always come on and talk to us about Max. Well, yeah, Yuki, if you want to DM me on Twitter or Discord, I, you know, kind of got to go with Kuihman if he accepts it, just because he cites himself as like the #1 Mr. Girl fan. But yeah, I need somebody to check my lore. Bum #1 says that Counterfire horse folder when common non-Christian degenerate L. True, Ericota. Yeah, people don't like my cultural Christian takes where I basically say that Destiny needs to rip up his entire moral system and start from fucking scratch. And as a matter of fact, we do have some tweets or some DMs, not DMs. We have some off-stream chat from Destiny basically saying like, oh guys, I already fixed this. I got on Vyvanse. Don't worry about it. I won't be a gooner ever again. I will never hurt another person ever again because I'm on Vyvanse now. Taze, yeah, good to see you. The drama space is eating real good this week, man. They're gonna make tens of thousands of dollars off of this shit. All of you lefties should go over to Andrew Wilson. No, lol. Christian nationalism? No, thank you. We should talk on stream again sometime. I've really been into the executive order that makes cartel terror orgs, and I believe that puts a lot of Americans in danger. I mean, it does. Held suspected cartel members shot at hikers near the border today. Yeah, I mean, it does. But if, you know, what? Did you think that going to war with the cartels was going to be writing papers? Did you think that it was going to be poems on Twitter? Yeah, we all know 40 viewer orbiters don't need to bother. Well, Shake Doc, you know, we're at 80 right now, so you know, I'd like to think of myself as a 50 to 150 viewer Andy. Speaking of which, we're going to start going live on Saturday. Obviously, a huge part of live streaming is consistency, and I just have none. Right? We missed almost all of December because Brianna and I were busy, and then half the time that we're doing Counterfire, you know, Brianna and I have our own separate things going on, and so we have to do it Wednesday or Thursday, so it's not consistent even during the week. So I was hoping to start doing Saturday relatively consistently. The wife is down with the plan because she wants money. She wants money so she can go to Disney. So I might become a wage slave for y'all on Saturdays. KOE says, Counter, Trump just declassified the JFK, RFK, and MLK files a few hours ago. Well, tell me what's up with them then, if you get any details. I did see Alex Jones post something.
Guys, I totally have Cage Cover Coffee there.
Effectively saying that, who was it? Lyndon B. Johnson killed JFK. That's what I heard. So I don't know if that's true. Ved Sunil says, Sherry's allegations are not yet substantiated. And by the way, to the 90 people coming in or whatever, welcome aboard. We're just getting a little warmed up. Brianna's in a meeting that's running a little late, so I'm just kind of hanging out with chat, talking to him, going over random chats and all that kind of stuff. So if we will read Pixie's Substack. I'm sure that Brianna and we both work with Pixie. I'm sure we'll have something to say about Pixie. We are going to go over some of the Mr. Girl report because I just read it. I just watched it, and I didn't read it, but I just watched Chud Logic stuff and took a whole bunch of notes on it just 2 weeks ago. We will be checking out Mr. Girl's celebration on Twitter because I think that he's actually doing something pretty fucked up right now. Then we're gonna check out Destiny's response.
Dude, oh my god! You know, I think Mr. Girl, you know, the recording sex without consent is pretty bad. But I think the really fucked up thing here is that Mr. Girl's getting a victory lap on Twitter.
Offline chat that I would say is not great. It's the best way to put it. Cherry. So Ved Sunil says Sherry's allegations are not yet substantiated. Right. So this is true. However, she said that 2 people contacted her. They had audio recordings of her. They recognized her voice because they knew her as a mutual. When they found out that Stephen had passed around non-consensual materials, they contacted her. She says that she verified that it was her, and she says that she filed a police report. Now, whether or not she has any intent to prosecute, whether or not she follows through on that, no idea, right? Checking the statutes, I actually was trying to figure that out on Twitter. The closest thing that anybody could find, in my opinion, was the non-consensual recordings thing. And if you do that, it can technically be a 3rd-degree felony. But again, bear in mind what is chargeable versus what is actually charged, what is chargeable versus what actually goes to court. There's oftentimes a disparity between that. Quentin Tarantino says, Shake, we get it. You're trying to run a screen. However, Destiny did something that makes Hassan look like a decent person. Let's not go too far, right? Hassan was just apologizing for Israeli and rich people rapes like 6 months ago. And not just that, he did.
No, Destiny's already said he's not addressing this in any way. He's not, literally, he's never going to talk about this. He said that. Literally never will he talk about this. Every other drama he's been in, he's been totally happy to fight it, to eventually, even before he was implying that when the litigation's over, maybe he'll talk about it. But no, now it is, he will never talk about it.
Did go to a brothel unapologetically that was rated for sex trafficking. And by the way, I'm not saying that's not, or what Stephen did isn't worse. What Stephen did probably is worse. However, just because Stephen did something horrible doesn't mean that Hassan isn't a massive piece of shit. Joe Vasquez says, lol, just because Destiny
Dude, I don't even care about the brothel thing. The brothel thing is literally like, it is a hand-wringing virtue signal because there's no way, like, it was in fucking Germany, right? This isn't Thailand. It was in fucking Germany, a first world country where there was a brothel that Hassan visited, and years later, it got raided for sex trafficking. Was it Amsterdam? Sorry, I thought it was Germany. Amsterdam, sorry. Are you sure? Are you sure it was Amsterdam? No, yeah, it was Germany. It was Germany. No, it is Germany. Everyone's saying Germany. Yeah, shut up, fucking retard. Who said that? Who fucking said that? Tequila Sunset. Fuck you. Okay, it was in Germany. It was in Germany. So you're not exactly expecting, like, crazy sex trafficking or anything, are you, in Germany? He didn't go there looking for, like, the most abused underage prostitutes he could find. He went to a brothel that seemed legit, and years later it got outed. It got raided. It's not that fucking crazy. The brothel also sued the city for the false raid and got a hefty settlement. Oh, fair, okay.
Mr. Girl is retroactively correct on anything. Well, we'll go over that tonight, believe it or not. So if you do hang out with us, I understand that some of y'all might have already covered this a few times before.
It was for tax evasion, not sex trafficking.
But maybe I'll just bring that up now in a minute.
I don't know how much of this is true. I'm reading this off a chat, okay?
Remy LeBeau says, have you ever read the manifesto? It's literally about the character of Destiny, not the victims. That's arguable. We can get into that in a second. Yeah. Is Tay still here? No.
Yeah, exactly. In a first world country in Europe, like, come on, what are you supposed to expect? That it's just rampantly breaking the law. Yeah, exactly. You've got no reason to think that. Thailand, it makes sense. Shithole country, loads of corruption, totally fucked, crime everywhere. Makes total sense. You can't speak the language. Germany, plenty of people speak English. First world country, European, functional authorities.
No idea. Taze Grove, at Counterfire, we won't get the files for like 45 days. He just commanded them to release them. Ooh, nice. And then I think Brianna is here. So so I caught up with chat basically, and then I'm gonna get Brianna in. The statute would start counting down the last verified date he distributed them if I read some of the laws correctly. Yeah, well, apparently he had a live Gmail link. So I don't know. We'll figure it out. But let's bring Brianna in, let's say hello, and then let's get into the content. How are you?
I've been better.
I believe it. Your volume's a little low for me, I think. Can you line it up?
If I just put it a little closer to my mouth, how is that?
It's okay, but I'm actually borderline wondering, is it like, can you just check your settings real quick and make sure you're hooked up to the best mic available? I'm borderline wondering if it's your lab mic right now.
No, it's my, it's the right one.
Okay, that just might be me. Chat, can you hear her fine? Do I need to turn her up at all? Let me know in the chat. But good evening.
Okay, people saying, oh, there's no trafficking anywhere else and all this shit. The point is that the reason why I said the language thing is because one of the big issues in Thailand and places like that is that you can't speak to the management or the girls if you're in a brothel. So there's no way of even like beginning to make an assessment of like consent or whether they're like involved willingly. At least in Germany, where there's a lot of people speaking English and you can more easily interface with like the society there, it's easier to tell kind of what's going on. Dude, I didn't even look at the screen. She is looking so fucking freaky. What the fuck?
I think we're actually all having a very weird week. Do you wanna share anything before we kind of get into it?
No, let's just get into it. Sounds good. Thank you, sweetie.
Okay. All right. So what I'm going to do, actually, I already kind of brought up as many documents as I thought were relevant. So I have Pixie Substack. I have the Mr. Girl report. I have Mr. Girl celebrating, I think, in a kind of a gross way on Twitter in 2 different ways that I think are worthy of some level of criticism, even if we keep it focused on Pixie, even if we keep it focused on Destiny. And then I have Destiny's reaction in offline chat to the backlash that he's getting right now.
She's very lifelike.
And so I think all of this is relevant. Do you think that we should add anything else to this outline?
Let's just keep going on through it. So yeah, Connor, I just want to hit this right off the bat up front. When this was all breaking, I put out a tweet saying I just didn't want to get involved with it. Right? I don't. I should.
Dude, can I get a phrenologist on this? What the fuck is this skull shape? Wait. Oh shit. Okay.
Can we just hit this head on before we start, man?
Sure.
Like, I like Steven. I like literally every single person in his orbit. I like Cherry. I like Kyla. I like Pixie a lot. Actually, I love working with Pixie. She's a great person. But there is the true to God, swear to God reason I have not been on Destiny's stream since last year. Like, I literally chose not to like dial in all last year. So there's some quality to his life. There's something about him, and I don't know what it is, but it just sucks you into all this horseshit around him. And we're laughing, but it's not.
No. I've been swimming in it. I've been swimming in it.
Dude, no way is she about to lay out. I'm having an episode. I'm gonna have an episode. That is like the first step of Mr. Girl Report. That is the first step. That's sucked into his life, sucked into the community, sucked into the harassment. Please do not just walk through all the conclusions, say you agree with them, then say you hate Mr. Girl. I'm going to lose my fucking mind.
For 4 or 5 years. I've almost enjoyed the experience a little bit.
It's not fun for me, Connor. Like this week, I am, like this Trump executive orders came out. I've got real world fucking shit to do. I've got real world stuff to do. I've got real media to do that policymakers watch. I've got meetings with elected officials to have. I've got meetings with the Democratic Party as we're trying to figure out what the fuck our trans messages should be. I've got real world stuff to do, and I'm literally trying to save my
trans message should be fucking silent. Thank you. If it's coming from you, especially.
My rights. And just unapologetic.
Take off the notes, Squiggler.
I don't, like, if Destiny committed some sex crimes, that is terrible, and I will judge that as the facts come out in court, whether I'm going to work with him or not. I just don't have time to stress this shit, because I've got real shit to do.
Oh my God.
Well, I think something about his fucking life that just sucks me into it.
Well, I think that's part of the reason why a lot of DGGers, including people who are in my chat right now, they're bitter. They're angry. And the reason why they're bitter and angry is because you have this guy who, listen, if you're a Destiny hater in the chat, that's totally fine, but I'm just going to lay it out, I think, the way most people within his community perceive him. He's intelligent. Yeah. He's charismatic. He can hold his own in a debate. He's a decent researcher, and he's an effective rhetorician, right? Yeah. Like, if he was Adolf Hitler levels of crimes, these things would still be true, right? And so he kind of, I would say, from 2022 to 2024, it looked like he dedicated himself to getting into the largest rooms possible based off of his clout and influence in orbit. And it seemed like he was really scratching at like the door to the mainstream. You know, been on Piers Morgan, talking to the DNC chair, talking to real world politicians, talking to these people, talking to that people, been on every big podcast that's available. Basically.
I worked very hard to get that door open for him, Connor. I worked really hard.
And so right when he's reaching the mainstream or whatever, he has this dipshit sex scandal that affected.
I've been working. Wait, but hasn't Destiny just like shit talked Wu? I thought Destiny was always like Wu kind of fucking sucks. He's like sent snipes at her before, hasn't he?
Implodes not just the goodwill of people outside of his community, but implodes the goodwill of a healthy chunk of people within his community. And so he's like, we should and will focus on.
You're saying nope, but I know I'm right because I've covered it. So don't say nope. I know it was a rhetorical question. I know I'm correct. He's shit on Wu several times. And a bunch of people who worked with him fucking hate Wu too, because she basically took over the canvassing shit and tried to make it her own, got them way too involved with PV and couldn't source money that she claimed she could source. So I know he's taking shots at Wu. Don't say no, it was a rhetorical question. Fuck yeah, okay.
On the victims, but he's really hurt himself. Bad. In the dumbest way possible.
Like, Destiny aside, like I entirely agree with every single word you just said. What is it about, like, I like Steven so much. I wish he's one of the strongest, like figures we've got for articulating like democratic beliefs. I've really enjoyed a lot of his stuff. What is it about him that causes him to have so much thoughtfulness in how he engages on these issues and makes such obviously poor decisions in his personal life that affect everyone around him?
Do you want me to give you a spoiler? I can give you a spoiler right now. So
go ahead.
Yeah, so we're gonna walk through the narrative. I promise everybody at home will walk through the narrative. However, when I went back and looked at the Destiny report by Mr. Girl, there's an allusion to a video called "My Early Life Was Bizarre," and this is Destiny talking about his early life. And in that video, he talks about how he was raised by his parents, I think in Omaha, Nebraska. They ran a daycare center, and basically his parents ignored him because he was the runt of the litter. All of his siblings are 10 years older. So he has more siblings, and he never got to know them or got to know them intimately. Then he was ignored for the daycare, and he talks about how he actually felt pretty bad and would sometimes go hide in the backyard or hide in the front yard, waiting to see how long his parents would take to notice that he was gone. And so to me, that borderline sounds like neglect, right? But he cites that as like, well, you know, everybody says, you know, that this was bad, but I actually credit it with giving me an incredible amount of like emotional resilience. I learned to, you know, not look to others for my sense of self-worth, right? Well, the second thing that I actually think is pretty traumatic is when he was a teenager, his parents went bankrupt. So he effectively went and lived with his grandmother on weekends in particular, and his grandmother was going senile. So she was having all sorts of issues, including messing herself, including, you know, she had this one proclivity that I think is particularly scarring, which is effectively she would adopt dogs. She would keep them for 3 to 6 months. She would make up a health issue or behavioral issue and then put them down. And over the course of 5 years, Steven believes that his grandma, because he tried to get his parents to intervene, put down
classic story
20 dogs. And some of these dogs he cared about. And so for me, like, that's not a sweep. I'm being descriptive. I think that if he had some latent sociopathy, latent narcissism, latent whatever, those traumas absolutely fucking contributed to it.
I just love how this is the only way Connor can talk about it. Every time he talks about it, he's psychosexually retarded because of all the trauma. You can never just say the actions are fucking despicable like they are.
I'm personally uncomfortable psychoanalyzing him, so I don't want to do that. I hear what you're saying.
Yeah.
What I would say is, look, I'm a trans woman. My childhood was extremely
Dude, shut up! She can't stop herself, can she? As a trans woman. Shut up! Shut up!
I'm personally uncomfortable psychoanalyzing him, so I don't want to do that. I hear what you're saying.
Yeah.
What I would say is, look, I'm a trans woman. My childhood was extremely bad, Connor. Like my family disowned me. My adopted family like threw me out like trash. Like I get trauma, but the thing is, you have to at some point address that and develop some healthy behaviors. That is our responsibility as adults. And I'm not saying I would never work with him again. Like I'm going to wait for the court case to come out, and we'll look at that. I think he's a decent man. I genuinely like Stephen. Every time I've hung out with him, every time I've worked with him, he's been forthright, honest, smart, has asked incisive questions. But I'm just saying, professionally, the cost of being in this world around him is so fucking stressful. It is so fucking exhausting. And it takes it out, not on me, because I'm just on the periphery, but the people that are closer to him. It is such a...
Sorry, let's just pull up Brianna Wu's disgusting statement about this, by the way. Let's pull this up quickly. Where is it? I should probably be smart enough to keep my mouth shut about the Destiny and Pixie lawsuit, but here goes. I care about both of them. Pixie is a good friend, someone I've worked with on several projects. She's seriously talented, fun to work with, and complements my skills in a way that makes collaborations really rewarding. Before all this came up, I planned to hire her for an upcoming project, and I'm sticking with that decision. Pixie, listen, I know you got revenge porned by one of my influential friends, but even though that happened to you, I'm still going to let you work on my project. Pixie, I'm willing to move past this. You're still allowed to work on my project. I know one of my friends shared your sex tape without consent, but Pixie, even though he did that, I'm still going to let you work on this project. Okay, I'm doing you that favor, Pixie. For the record, following through on this hire isn't me taking sides. Listen, Pixie, I know you got revenge porn. I know this guy released your sex tape without consent to one of his random e-whores. But I'm not taking sides, okay? I know that's proven, Pixie, but I'm not taking sides. I've made that clear to both her and people close to Steven. They both deserve their day in court, and I'm not here to weigh in on what's ultimately between them. I have offered no opinion on this action privately, and made it clear I cannot. Listen, Pixie, I know you're going through something right now, but I can't offer an opinion on that, Pixie. I'm sorry. I can't say whether that's good or bad, Pixie. I'm really sorry. I just want to be honest about where I'm coming from. Adulting can be awkward like this. Adulting's just so awkward when people are leaking your sex tapes without consent. Adulting's just so awkward. I do hope people let the legal process play out instead of turning this into content or drama. It's a serious situation for both of them, and they both deserve better than the avalanche of shitty clickbait yet to come. Okay.
A heavy toll. And I think that's part of why you're seeing so many people like step away. Like it is like a time bomb. And I don't know. You just keep rooting for this guy to learn and to make some better fucking decisions and to figure out what the fuck is going wrong. And he just hasn't. And it's just like,
thank you for the $4.99 Red. Thank you. Huge appreciated.
Well, and there's people in the chat who I think are misunderstanding why I'm bringing up that story. They're like, oh, so this justifies him doing what he did as an adult? No. 100% no. As a matter of fact, kind of like Brianna just said, kind of like a couple other people in chat said, no, your childhood trauma does not give you unlimited license to be a dickhead for the rest of your life. No. As a matter of fact, you are almost morally called. I would say you are morally culpable. As soon as you identify that, oh shit, I have horrible behaviors that are rooted in childhood trauma, it is incumbent upon you to fix those issues. Because all you're going to do, if you continue to use these really bad coping strategies and these really bad behavioral issues, all you're going to do is you're going to hurt and traumatize other people with your bad behavior.
Which he's done.
Which Brianna Wu would never do, by the way. Brianna Wu would absolutely never, ever attempt to wash away past wrongdoing with explanations of childhood trauma and mental illness. Brianna would never do that. Certainly not in a debate where I'm repeatedly muted while attempting to call her out on previous wrongdoing. That would never happen, guys. That's disgusting. I can't believe anyone would imply that.
To fix those issues. Because all you're going to do, if you continue to use these really bad coping strategies and these really bad behavioral issues, all you're going to do is you're going to hurt and traumatize other people with your bad behavior.
Which he's done. repeatedly.
That's kind of what we're talking about tonight. So, you know, there's a half a dozen angry chats who are like, "Oh, you're saying that he has unlimited license?" No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. I'm giving you color for why I think this happened. Which, by the way, there could still be 10,000 other reasons why it happened. I'm just saying that if I'm using the Mr. Girl report as like a narrative vehicle, I would tie his emotional callousness to these events.
But
So, yeah.
I want to be really clear about something else, Connor. Yeah, the New York Times has not written a fucking story about Destiny with 2 sources. The Washington Post has not written a story about Destiny with multiple sources. I've not seen a CNN story about this
Oh my
where an actual
God.
fucking reporter went out and looked at this and substantiated it. What I've got is a bunch of stuff, like there's something from Pixie. I know Pixie.
It's all that. The evidence is all there. The evidence is all there. Woo. Also, where the fuck is Stephen A. Sarch right now? Hello? Thank you, Alex Hall, for the 10 gifted memberships. Hugely appreciated. Where the fuck is Stephen A. Sarch? Hello? Where's my Rolling Stone article? There's better evidence for this than there was for Dr. Disrespect right now. At least public. Asrash is a team guy. Yeah, but is he a Destiny team guy? I feel like he's more of a lefty team guy, no? I feel like he would be...
Where are we at with President Sunday forcing Pixie to come forward? Is he autistic or does he have a certain syndrome?
Jeez. Sunday's just a total fucking cold-blooded psychopath, okay? He said as much. He said as much, didn't he? He said, if I was a psychopath, I would simply release this without her consent and risk her herself. If I was a psychopath.
Pixie's actually someone I really care about. I talk to her all the time. I work with her. If I'm hiring for a project, Pixie is one of the first people I call because she's really easy to work with and really fun to work with and has a shitload of talent. I really care about Pixie. I do.
Yes, he's totally ends justify the means. It's tricky because I totally disagree. I absolutely think it's like the totally fucking wrong thing to do with it. It's a total fucking blow to your credibility if you release shit like this without the victim's consent. But Sunday didn't have credibility with these people anyway. So Sunday kind of didn't have anything to lose. It's just, I don't know what to even say, you know?
You know, I don't have kids, and one of the ways I manifest like that energy is I try to help younger women like get a start in their career, and I'm proud of like how I've helped Pixie develop professional skills. I'm really genuinely proud of that. But at the same time, it's like, so I know if she's saying stuff, it's true because I know her and I can make that assessment. All the rest of this, I just don't know these people. A journalist hasn't vetted it out. I've read the
like if your dog mauls a bird in the garden, do you get mad at it? Do you go, I can't believe you just killed something? Or do you just go, well, I mean, that's just what dogs do. You know, that's what dogs do.
documents. I saw none of this firsthand. And it is the most reasonable fucking thing in the world if a reporter has not looked at this to go, you know what? I'm just going to hold back and wait for a court case and wait for some facts to come out.
I might be a little bit more judgmental. Maybe I'll be a little bit, but I'll cite the reasons as we go. So are you ready to do Pixie's Substack?
I have not seen it, so walk me through it.
Okay, so I'm going to go to the share screen. I'm going to present. I'm going to pick this up, and I'm just narrating this because I want you guys to not be lonely without my beautiful voice. And then let me add this. Okay, cool. Chat, sorry if you can't see it perfectly, but I will be reading it aloud anyways. And just pause me intermittently, and I'll pause myself intermittently. So this is Pixie. This is a young lady that...
Hold on, just want to pause.
Sure.
The question in the chat, do I believe Pixie or not? Yeah, I believe Pixie 100%. I know her. So just stop with this bullshit. I'm really not in the mood.
Well, and by the way, I
Dude, why are you saying now you believe Pixie? I have offered no opinion on this action privately and made it clear I cannot. What is the cannot if now you are? Why was it cannot? You mean you didn't want to? You wanted to fence sit. But now you've gotten shit for fence sitting. Now you believe her.
I believe Pixie too. I think Destiny believes Pixie. I think Erudite believes Pixie.
Same with fucking
I
Canadian.
think everybody in the scenario believes Pixie. So, yeah. Anyways.
Because it's not a matter of believing Pixie. It's a matter of seeing the evidence, the proof, Destiny's admissions, the logs. There's proof.
Continuing. So Pixie writes, we're going to let her narrate, and then if we want to add color based off of our perspectives, we will. I will be suing Stephen Kenneth Bennell II. That is Destiny's name. On November 29th, I learned that the streamer Destiny had non-consensually shared pornographic content of me online. My dignity, peace of mind, and hopes for the future were stripped away in a mere matter of seconds following the betrayal of someone I previously trusted. I am at least the third person he has done this to. I hope to be the last. I will not be commenting on the experience of the other women he has hurt, as it is not my place or story to tell. I think that's pretty stinking mature. Just for the sake of color, I believe that I don't know the third person. I believe the second person who is alleged is Destiny's ex-wife, Melina. I will, however, share my story in the hopes of preventing this from happening again. I have known Destiny for around 5 to 6 years and often find myself in heavy disagreement with him. Despite this, I do my best to see the best sides of all people, trying my hardest to spread positivity and create understanding where I can. I can attest to this. Pixie is a very nice, bubbly, kind person.
She's lovely.
Yep. It's corny, but I want to meet people where they are and focus on which ways we can build bridges together towards a better future for everyone. Some people call this a fault of mine. They claim I am naive and should be more careful. Those people are right. When I was 19, over 5 years ago, I was extremely sexually inexperienced and sheltered. Being severely terrified of leading someone on or assault, I thought I could trust Destiny, who I had multiple long conversations with regarding consent and boundaries. Now, some people have argued the timeline. In my estimation, this means that they hooked up 5 years ago, which is a long time ago. So you can imagine my surprise when I discovered he distributed pornographic content of me without my consent. Yes, you read that right. Stephen Kenneth Bennell II sent pornographic content of me to a random 19-year-old e-girl Discord kitten whom he had never met before, and then she published it to the whole world. Rest assured, despite never having met her, he at least spoke to her plenty of times on the telephone. I'll open that. Basically, it's just a DM from him saying that he talked to her several times. I think that's actually sarcastic. She's saying that, like, his sense of intimacy with this random person is misplaced.
Yeah.
Of course, this is what he says happened. I think it is just as likely that he used her as a proxy to widely distribute the material while claiming deniability. I'm not going to editorialize. I'll leave that there. That's Pixie's opinion.
That's her opinion.
Yeah. I do not understand why Destiny would knowingly and willingly put me in a position where I would receive non-step sexual abuse and harassment. If we believe him, he was trying to impress a barely legal teenager using my body and my privacy.
Okay, I want to skip in a bit. I get the fucking basic story here. Okay, I want to hear him talk about Mr. Girl. I want to hear Brianna cope, but he totally wasn't right.
Can we just pause here and just note how fucking weird and unhealthy it is that just leaking logs is everywhere in this space? And I'm not critiquing Pixie for doing this, but I'm saying, yeah, when I'm talking to a high-level elected official, typing messages, does part of my brain go, oh, if this ends up in court, someone can see it. Maybe I should be a little thoughtful here. Yeah, but this stuff doesn't end up on Twitter every single day. And this, if you're looking at this, everyone's secretly recording each other and saving these logs and publishing it. It's fucking sick, man. This is so unhealthy.
Well, so hold on. But here's the thing.
See, me personally, I don't do anything. I don't do anything in DMs that I would be like super worried about leaking. That's me personally. The way I engage is I just don't do things in DMs that I'd be super concerned about leaking. So I don't think it's actually that weird. Brianna Wu, on the other hand, now I can understand why Brianna Wu would hold this opinion. I can see why Brianna Wu would hold this opinion when she's got DMs like this with Lav, where she says, Lav, what you should really be asking yourself is this. Brianna is one of the most well-known experts in America about online abuse and women's issues online. Why is she not on my side? That's a question you should really spend some time thinking about. You're not going to get better until you understand you're the villain.
That I think that has...
So yeah, if I had DMs like that, maybe I would feel like Wu. Maybe I would be more like Wu. Maybe I would be like, oh, it's disgusting that everyone saves stuff and records. But personally, the worst thing I do is talk in crazy ways about my internet enemies, like saying that things should be done to them in in a joking way and using slurs for them. That's the worst stuff in my DMs personally. That's the worst stuff I get up to. I don't personally go around trying to intimidate people and be like, oh, I'm actually an expert. Okay.
Changed.
Wait, just to be super clear,
sure.
She 100%, I support her doing that. She's making allegations. I know what happens to women if they both put this out there. I'm just talking about the mental health of this space and why it's so bad.
Sure. What I would say though is that we are in a new era, and I think that
my mastiff will absolutely maul intruders, rodents and foxes, but he has learned he isn't allowed to go after birds and protects my chickens. I low-key kinda support Sunday Hieto lol.
Thank you for the $10, Spencer Howard. Thank you.
That you and I, coming from a similar generation in timeline, we've seen this transformation. And so what I think kind of did happen in earlier years before the internet was people had public lives and they had private lives. And basically what was public, what was known to the public. And then people had private lives in which, some people, like, the only reason why you were able to stay in the closet, quote unquote, is because you had a private life, right? You had a closet in which you could stay in. Whereas nowadays, we don't have that. You are effectively one entity that, passes through the public-private sphere. And so what I would say, especially if you're a streamer, YouTuber, someone who likes to post on social media, et cetera, your conduct should be consistent.
I ignored what messages?
With your personality and values at every single opportunity, because you borderline need to presume that every conversation that you have can be screenshotted and leaked. Every single conversation that you have via telephone or via computer Discord, it can be recorded and leaked. So you better make sure that when you're having these conversations, you're not doing something criminal, messed up, embarrassing, whatever, because nothing stays secret.
I agree with you to a point, Connor. What I'm saying is the unhealthiness of this entire like space. That yeah, do politicians occasionally have DMs leak? Yeah, of course, but it's not every single day for freaking content.
Stream elements, no problem. Oh, it's not loading. Okay, there we go. The American Psycho scene with President Sunday, but he's talking about the Wiggles. I think it should be remembered what a piece of shit Sunday was throughout this. He is a retard. But he crossed boundaries to get his hit piece, not unexpected, to be fair. Yeah, I mean, I've said that all the time. I totally disagree with Sunday leaking the stuff. I totally disagree with it, and I totally, you know, if you want to go after Sunday, anyway, I'm never going to sweep for Sunday on this. If you want to go after Sunday on this, go for it. I don't have the energy to, because what I care about is the actual story. It was the same with the Mr. Girl stuff. So I hated the way that no one engaged with the actual story, and was just like, oh, leaking for the whole fucking thing, even though that was end up being bullshit. It's just like, the story's more interesting to me. But I mean, obviously Sunday did something fucked up. Thank you for the $6.99. Kuihman, why does she look like that? A mix of horrendous filters and excessive surgery. Thank you.
But this is the game, and I'm not trying to dog Zoomers too much, but this is a little bit of a game, I would say, of the Zoomers, where I seriously think that lockdown, and I'm not talking about Pixie, I'm not talking about Steven necessarily, but if the shoe fits, wear it, okay? I think that a lot of sex and social games are played online. And so it's fun, right? It's like the perpetuation of high school. This person likes this person. This person doesn't like this person. They're talking shit about each other in this DM while they're pretending to be friends in this DM. This person has pictures of this person's feet and vagina and boobs and face and all that kind of stuff. And so as a result, you get to play, like in high school in particular, a lot of people, there were politics in high school, right? There were cliques, there were groups, there was a social ladder to climb, and there was different ways that different people valued each other. Well, the internet has effectively perpetuated high school into the digital realm as long as you want it. You can be in sophomore year or junior year of high school into your 60s if you...
Wait, really? Breaking news, Nathan Weddle disavowed Destiny. What? No way. No way. This is huge.
Want to. And truth be told, in my personal opinion, I think a lot of people do this, just being real, as a death avoidance strategy. And what I mean by that is they don't want to deal with their own mortality. They don't want to deal with religion. They don't want to deal with politics. They don't want to deal with death and destruction the world over. So they preoccupy their brain with, and I'm not talking about Destiny or Pixie here, but they preoccupy their brain with inane bullshit to keep themselves entertained. And I'm guilty of that too, by the way.
100%. Connor, put this comment from Calcon on screen, please.
Sure.
Hey, you know what? Brianna working hard as she can stay off topic of Destiny.
Dude, this is epic. She's getting owned. This is someone who should never live stream. This is not a person who is mentally capable of live streaming.
Sure.
Hey, you know what? Brianna working hard as she can stay off topic of Destiny and leaking news without consent. Fuck you, buddy. Fuck you. This, you have no idea what my week has been like. And if you think I support leaking news of my friends, go fuck yourself. Seriously. We're here having a discussion. And
no, I thought you didn't have an opinion on it. I thought you just didn't have an opinion. I thought you didn't know what happened. You didn't have an opinion. Sorry, I understand. Well, now you're taking a stance, I guess. I thought you couldn't have an opinion on it. Sorry, I must have been confused. I don't know why I had that stupid fucking idea in my head.
Leaking news of my friends. Go fuck yourself. Seriously.
Yeah, Calcon just critted. Crazy.
Leaking news of my friends. Go fuck yourself. Seriously. We're here having a discussion, and we'll get to the parts that you want when I fucking want to. Okay? So you can fucking act like an adult and let us have our conversation, and we'll get to that when I want. Is that okay with you, buddy? Thank you.
Yeah, or you can fuck off to another chat. That's another option.
Yeah, you can also just go the fuck away.
Always welcome here, Calcon. So always welcome here.
The next thing that I wanted to hit, okay? And so, actually, I do need to...
Can you boot this fucker from the chat, please? Thank you. Great.
Connor, get this guy out of chat. Connor, remove this guy from chat. Connor, ban that guy. Connor, ban that chatter now. Go, Connor. Igor?
So... Listen, we all get one guide. One guide is what we do. I'm going to pull up Sherry real quick as well, because I think it is relevant. So when it comes to Pixie, the allegation is that more than 5 years ago, they hooked up.
No, I have not seen Nosferat, Wu, and Kun Igor. No, what are you talking? What? Oh, wait, did I see that ages ago? How old is that? I can't say. Send it to me anyway.
And she did a intimate recording, basically.
Let me on, says Lav. Let's see if we can get Lav on. I've called her on Discord.
Hi, King.
How's it going, Lav?
Hi, remember when you tried to get me to myself with DK?
I didn't try and get you to yourself. I think that's an overstatement, but I do agree we had some internet fights, yeah.
Yeah, I remember. It's like all water under the bridge now.
Okay, awesome. Great to hear. So, how's it going with Brianna Wu? What do you think of this stream? Have you heard much about it?
I have been watching. She's brought me up more times. It's actually crazy how she's disavowed me more than someone who has literally distributed unconsensual porn. The only thing that anyone ever has to say about me is that I lied about Hassan when, like, it's just unsubstantiated. I don't even, like, at this point, I've lied about so little that I don't know how people still think I'm, like, a liar. Everything I've said turns out to be true. I just won't give it to them exactly when they want it, so they call me a liar. So yeah, she's brought that up, even though, like, her friend is, literally being tried in the court of public opinion for potentially, like e-raping someone. It is just so ridiculous. Also, Connor's a pussy. Connor being like, my wife okayed me to tweet this. My wife is my ghostwriter. First of all, holy fuck, you're actually gay. You're actually gay. Yeah, it is what it is. Also, have you noticed that one of Brianna's eyes is, like, lagged?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot wrong with her face. I feel like that's
What
honestly,
is going?
the eyes are, like,
the
the smallest
third
issue.
FFS?
Yeah, I mean, she claimed that. Did you see the tweet she said where she said her voice was going? She had to get surgery because she had an issue with her voice and she wouldn't be able to speak within a year. And now it's been like a year and she's still fucking talking.
Oh God, I wish she wouldn't. I wish someone should do something.
Yeah.
Just kidding. Just kidding. Just kidding. Guys, just kidding. You should stream what you're watching to me. So
Okay, you're here to co-host, yeah? Okay.
Yeah, we're co-hosting now.
All right.
An alliance has been formed.
Yeah.
He and she did a intimate recording, basically, and then he has been sharing that since then as just a way to flirt with more women. That's the Pixie allegation, and I think that the civil statute that she is using is appropriate.
Yeah,
right.
I 1000% support this lawsuit. If this happened and Pixie can prove it, I 1,000,000,000% support this lawsuit. Like, absolutely. Like, without question. Like, she should go get a lawyer. She should adjudicate.
So I think this is a strange tone change from I can't give an opinion on this, right? This is...
Yeah.
I don't know where this has come from. I think the Twitter hate got to her. But...
Yeah, of course it does.
This, and she should try to get a civil settlement if that's true. It's 100% called for. And you agree too, Connor, right?
Yeah. No, here's my thing. I'm just gonna be crass about it. So the statute that she's suing under, the maximum damages are 150,000. Okay. Now I'm thinking with somebody else's money. I'm thinking with somebody else's career. Maybe this is
the statute. Is that the federal statute or the Florida? Okay.
So this is the federal civil statute. Okay? Now whether or not you can get more damages or something like that, it says something about liquidated damages. I wish Pisco was here to weigh in on it, but I don't understand all the terminology. But it basically says that liquidated damages are payable out at a maximum of $150,000 or something like that. Okay. I'm pretty sure that based off of Steven's numbers, based off of his members, based off of this, based off of that, I'm pretty sure that is approximately or even less than a month's worth of income.
Yeah.
Right. And so if that is, if I'm off, I'm off. But I've heard that anything else does really well. He obviously gets a lot of ad revenue. He obviously gets a lot of post-recorded views. I don't think it would take him particularly long to find that cash, right?
No, of course not.
And so as an apology for saying, you were my friend.
I feel like this is kind of missing the point because it's not even, I don't think people are even talking about the Pixie lawsuit as much anymore as criminal charges, right? Because if he's recording people without consent, which it seems pretty likely he is, that seems like a way bigger charge than a civil lawsuit about revenge porn.
I've heard that anything else does really well. He obviously gets a lot of ad revenue. He obviously gets a lot of post-recorded views. I don't think it would take him particularly long to find that cash, right?
No, of course not.
And so as an apology for saying, you were my friend, I violated your trust, I leaked content of you, and you have had to suffer for months as a result.
Brianna Wu kind of looks like the duck from what is it? The Chicken Little? The duck with the big teeth. Pull that up. Jamie, pull that up.
Happy Mallard.
Ugly duckling.
Plus, I will not tolerate rude behavior at the expense of a fellow...
No worries, Mr. Wollensworth.
Oh, shit!
This one.
Yeah, a little bit.
Conciliatory apology. And if they don't want to be friends after that, that's totally fine. But instead, we're going this route where the sides are entrenching themselves. And, as a result, we're having this friction and this public implosion.
But I mean, let's get back to the core thing here is messages were leaked about Pixie without her consent to Sunday, who is a piece of absolute human.
Oh, he's such an asshole. And I will be happy.
So actually, when you think about it, Straighterade did the actual rape. Destiny is also a victim, and Straighter 8 is actually like the evil. That,
I just think it's crazy to say like Sunday's this absolute human piece of shit when you're like the condemnation of Destiny is like so weak. It's like, yeah, if this happened, Pixie should definitely win her lawsuit. Okay, well, what do you think about the guy who like records people without their consent while he's having sex with them? It's like, well, you know, Steven has a lot of his personal life is very messy. He's made a lot of mistakes. He's not perfect. Sunday's an absolute human piece of shit, and it's the same for Max as well. I'm sure whenever she gets to that.
Yeah, of course.
He's an asshole momentarily.
Sure. But I'm just saying, like Pixie.
Oh,
it's not like she chose to do this publicly in this moment, right? Like what happened?
Yes, President Sunday. Mr. Bombastic is asking Sunday like President Sunday. Yes, President Sunday leaked this entire scenario against Pixie's wishes, blew it open. Which I'll just say it now. The people at home who have been tracking this field for a long time, you'll remember that President Sunday excoriated Max Carson for hours. It might have been 2 hours, where he basically called Max Carson a manipulative, predatory piece of garbage for violating. I want to know why they're
still talking about everyone else. I want to know why they're still talking about everyone surrounding this and how like
except Destiny,
and tone policing everyone else's reaction except for the fact that Destiny has potentially like committed a crime against multiple women. It's like so confusing. I don't know why they're doing that.
Yeah, I mean, they just don't want to go too hard. They're worried. I think they're worried that there's going to be like a manifesto drop or something, and they're all going to look really stupid because Destiny's going to completely smear all the victims again. But he said he's not responding. He said there will never be a response, which is like the first time I've ever seen Destiny say, yeah, I'm just never going to respond to this personal drama, this accusation. But they don't seem to see anything suspicious about that, I guess.
Consent in order to publish the Mr. Girl report. And so it's kind of insane. Like he can take his, you know, sociopathic anti-Destiny energy and he can take his little W and go home or whatever. But he did the exact thing that he annihilated Max Carson for a year and a half ago, which is insane. But I'm sure he'll have his justifications. So here's the second thing. And to be honest, this is kind of where things changed for me, right? I think we're all a little bit, I'll admit it. I'll just speak for me. I'm a little uncomfortable, right? And the reason why is because I've been friendly with Steven for several years. We've done multiple debates. We worked with PV together. I've met him in person multiple times. I've been down to the Miami studio a couple of times. You know, like we didn't shoot any content down there, but we hung out a few times down there. And in all, I've had pleasant experiences. That doesn't mean everybody's had pleasant experiences. That just means I have, right? And so when somebody comes out and they say, hey, did you know the guy that you like is actually a dirtbag who did something unbelievably messed up? My reflex was to make light of the situation and joke about it because frankly, Destiny's been through a series of dramas before and they have involved sex and they have involved people's hurt feelings. But this is where my calculation or my evaluation changes, right? So Sherry says, today I was made aware of an intimate audio recording taken of me without my consent. That was also shared without my consent. I'm upset right now, and I'm going to give myself time to process. Now, I'm not going to find it immediately, but Sherry, I believe, alleged that this happened in 2023. And so I do have like callous and rude things to say, you know, in regards to the timeline. However, when it comes to that simply, that she was recorded without her consent, and then that those recordings were used for sexual gratification and then spread without her consent, that the reason why that's such a huge violation to me is because in this sphere, consent, like with progressive and liberal sex, consent is like all they talk about. It's all they talk about is consent.
Yeah.
I have another 3-minute rant, but I'm going to save you from it.
No. Go ahead, Connor. I mean, my thought is very straightforward. It's the exact same as Pixie. If she's got evidence of this, I 100% her bringing a lawsuit forward.
So my thing with this is Destiny will talk through like the exact, like almost textbook, you know, consent talking points on stream. He clearly understands it. The whole recording thing literally just comes off like some crazy psychotic power play where it's just like, it's the one way where he knows he can breach consent and can't be caught, or at least thought that, right? And yet, so he uses that, and it almost seems like it's a deliberate infraction on the person's agency that is meant to be in the most pernicious, discreet way possible, so that you can just endlessly exploit it. It's just so fucking weird. It's so off-putting.
And proving it in court, and you know, Steven can face the consequences of his actions, like determined by judge and jury, right? 100%. Like if you've got a case, I welcome you bringing it. And
well, this is where it does get a little bit weird. Okay, so when it comes to the criminal statutes, because I was researching this on Twitter as best I could with other people who were linking me statutes. So when it comes to video voyeurism, okay, the reason why this doesn't seem to work for me is because
Put
this
on
statute
legal
talks about a
reading. Let's
person who
go.
secretly records another person, but it's almost as if like that person is like outside of the domicile, or they set up a camera in order to record and all that kind of stuff. And the statutes keep saying image and video over and over and over again. And there was not an image or video generated in this situation, as far as I know. It was an audio recording. And so the voyeurism statute, I don't think applies. Then when it comes to the Florida state statute about cybersexual harassment, you know, again, like a state attorney is welcome to educate me, but with the cybersexual harassment, the statute actually does stipulate that there was either some level of recklessness or there was some level of intent to leak it to other parties in order to harass the person who was recorded. And I think that's difficult if you're having private communiques where this is done and it's effectively done for like a, let's say like a lascivious motivation, right? So these two criminal statutes don't apply. Now, maybe there's a federal statute that applies, but I don't know about it. The closest that we could get was the audio recording somebody without their consent, which is a third-degree felony, but I think that is going to be fought out in a court, right? Yeah. And that's if she chooses to prosecute. She said that she filed a police report, but if there's a little signature line where it says do intend to prosecute and don't intend to prosecute. If she's just making a report and she doesn't intend to prosecute, if she doesn't plan on going to a court, if she doesn't plan on testifying, that's a piece of paper that's going to get filed and it's not going to go anywhere, right? When it comes to the civil suit as well, a lot of the civil statutes that I was seeing had to do with video
I
and
really
imaging.
don't care about Connor's legal opinion.
Mr. Girl, also known as Max Carson, has been...
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm just feral tonight, Connor. Put this up from Paul. Put this up from Paul.
Oh, she's getting one guy again. No way.
Max Carson has been...
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm just feral tonight, Connor. Put this up from Paul. Put this up from Paul.
Pie?
Paul Aris, that comment about Kyla.
Paul, how long y'all think it'll be till we find out that... Ooh.
Kyla is married. And this is not fucking funny, okay? If you are married, like women just fucking exist. And we've got lives and husbands and relationships. And just because we know men does not mean we're fucking them. This is such an inappropriate comment about Kyla. It's disgusting. It's not funny. I don't know why.
Do you remember what she, do you see what she said to me?
Yeah. What did she call you? What was it? A disposable, eager fuck for a streamer.
Yeah. Which like wasn't even true about me. Like I don't even like what the fuck is she even what the fuck is it even saying? I literally don't even know.
Yeah, it's totally inconsistent with like everything she says. She just like spurgs out on Twitter, says a bunch of shit that like totally does not fit with her public perception. Just ignores it. Just
so brutal, on. So brutal.
Fucking stop! It's obnoxious. It makes you a creep and the biggest asshole on earth.
Well, the hold on. So sorry, we addressed Sherry, Mr. Girl. So chat, you're distracting me. Stop it. No, okay, no, Paul. See, dude, this is why you guys are dumb.
Yeah, you're dumb.
Okay.
You're really dumb.
I'll get
Your
one.
Your dad is going to take care of this one. Thank you.
Okay, sorry, that just almost gave me a stroke. So, okay, so let's run through this because I think this is actually a decent narrative and chronological frame with which to address it. So this isn't happening in a vacuum, right? And I think part of the reason why this is hitting the way that it is right now is because about a year and a half ago, it might be 2 years ago now. I think it was actually the end of 2023. Mr. Girl, also known as Max Carson, and Destiny, they'd previously been friends, they had a split, right? And Max took a variety of issues with Steven. The primary ones that he cited was he felt like he was platforming Nick Fuentes irresponsibly. And then also he felt like he had inappropriate relationships with his orbiters. So that is the main things, right? And in the report, there's actually the beginning of the summary. I have it on a sticky note because I had it on a Google Drive, but I don't want to expose my Google Drive to 220 people. So here are the things, and I would actually like to walk down the allegations of the report, and I'm going to give my opinion, and if you want to give your opinion,
porn.
Okay,
as well. So the first allegation by Mr. Girl in the report is that Destiny has unequal sexual partnerships. What do you think about that sentence?
I have long agreed with Kyla that I think women should be free to make choices and also stand by those decisions. And I think treating women like we're somehow unable to consent is belittling. And I think the next consequence,
we're not able to consent. Brianna Wu is a 6'5" ghoul.
Yep.
I don't know what the fuck she's talking about when she says we.
You know, there's old tweets from like Gamergate where she's saying basically it's when she was claiming she wasn't trans or like pretending that she wasn't going to answer the question, and she said something like, "I love being a 6'5" woman in game, a 6'5" woman in game development, and feeling powerful, towering over my male colleagues, and all this shit." Like saying like as if she's being treated like she's actually a woman and it is actually a woman in these spaces, and that everyone doesn't just look at her like a overgrown.
Xena going off right now. This is wild. Where is Xena going off?
consequence of that is like, what, women can't sign contracts for credit cards because it's too scary for us.
Yeah.
I think it's just this reasoning chain. Like, is there a discussion in the workplace we need to have about power dynamics? Yeah. And, you know, if I work at a company, do I think there should be HR policies about senior people sleeping with junior people? Yeah, that makes sense. But let's be really clear here. Like, look at what Lav did, where she did everything she could to get fucking Destiny, right? There are a lot of
I did
like, girls out there
everything I
that
could
say-
to
Whoa.
get fucked by Destiny. She doesn't even know what the fuck happened.
Let's
What
be
is she even
really clear
saying?
here. Like, look at what Lav did, where she did everything she could to get fucking Destiny, right? There are a
Real?
lot of like girls out there
And Connor just goes, yep.
think she could to get
No, he
fucking
clarifies.
Destiny, right?
Oh, does he?
There are a lot
Oh.
of like girls out there that see Destiny who is devastated. He's really cute in person.
So hold on.
Really
so,
cute,
So
yeah.
Lav is still following me on Twitter despite several of the people blocking me or muting me. Well, I guess I don't know about a mute, but several people have blocked me, or at least Sherry blocked me.
Sure.
With Lav, I think that she would want it specified that, and this is gross, but well, no, it's not gross. It's weird that I have to be this pedantic, but anyway, he gave her oral, but they
That's
did not
right. Can we
have
get based and can we get
genital
dubs in
sex.
chat? W's in
The
chat.
reason
W's
why
in chat.
I bring this up is because every time that it's brought up that she had sex with Destiny, she corrects it to that.
I don't care. That's fine. My point
Okay.
is women can make decisions.
So it was a big problem when someone in chat was accusing Erudite of fucking Destiny, but now that she's got it right, it's all of a sudden it's either okay, cool.
To
Yeah.
like this is not the first generation to go fuck a star, right? In this case, it's a
Well, she was.
streamer. Yeah.
She contacted Destiny
I don't
because of the Anne of War drama, which is interesting, right?
Well, I saw
Because
that video. I knew of him through that video.
Oh yeah, I think you said that was the first time you saw Destiny content, right? Was the
Yeah.
Avoir breakdown stuff.
Yeah, it was algorithmically served to me.
Awesome. What a great way to get involved.
Anne of War drama.
I mean, I didn't think you never think it's gonna happen to you, right? Like you're like, oh wow, Anna's
Oh, that bitch is crazy. Wow, she's so insane. I can't believe she's so
Yeah,
insane. She thinks
exactly.
she's sexting Destiny behind the scenes. What a crazy person.
Yeah,
were criticizing
exactly.
Steven even at the time, is effectively that Anne of War had a form of OCD. Destiny flirted with her and hooked up with her, dipped out. She was not liking how callous and cold he was. And then they bounced off of each other for like 2 or 3 years.
I feel like this is even kind of downplaying, because wasn't the initial disagreement between them like Destiny said he was poly, so she took that as meaning he was okay with having multiple long-term serious partners. And then as it developed, I think he said, oh no, I meant open relationship, as in I only have one partner, but I'll fuck other people. And then she was like, well, what the fuck? I thought there was a chance here. So that's even like more like understandable than just, oh, she got mad because he pulled away. Like, that's not really what happened. The nature of the relationship was miscommunicated to her. She had a total reason to be like kind of upset with him for misportraying that when they started interacting.
Effectively ripping each other apart. And almost everyone in Steven's life said, you're a fucking moron for entertaining this relationship. Dan said that. I think Kyla said that. I think I said that. I think Chud Logic said that. I don't know if you ever said that or were even aware.
I honestly don't know this Anna stuff. I haven't followed it. I don't know anything about it.
Well, sure. But the point is that like the reason why people are sometimes attracted to Destiny is because of the lascivious drama, right? It's because of the sex. It's because of the drama. It's because of the fights. It's because of the stream blowouts.
I don't think that's it. I think you don't understand this because you're not into men. So
maybe
let me. This is my point of view. So when you see Steven,
Is Brianna Wu into men? Her husband is like Asian, which is like the closest you can get to female with the XY chromosome.
Dude, wait, I think if I got this Brianna Wu clip, there's a clip of her and her husband. I'm gonna have it somewhere. Yeah, 1 second. There's an insane clip. Yeah, here it is. Dude, it's just the most uncomfortable looking relationship.
He has a magnetism. Like some people are just.
Oh, he's charismatic.
He's very charismatic.
Brianna Wu looks like a claymation character. She looks like she should be in Wallace and Gromit.
He has a way of listening where it feels like he's really, really listening, and it's attractive. So I don't know. I think that is
Brianna Wu obviously wants to fuck Steven, and it's why she hates me so bad. Brianna, message him. He will literally fuck anything. Brianna, you have a chance. You have a chance.
Hey.
It's very easy for me to see why younger women would see that and would want to reach out to him. Like I'm sorry, like some women just want to go fuck famous people. Like this is just something that people do. It's not this is not the first generation to have that tendency. So my main point here is like I think women have the right to go make bad choices and regret them. So I'm not really believing this power imbalance idea on Twitch. If someone's an adult, yeah, like I think that they can make their choices and live with the responsibility.
She's obviously acknowledging that it is a mistake. She's obviously acknowledging some degree of harm to these women, but she's putting like all of the onus on the woman, which is like, yes, there are women who want to fuck there are high school girls who want to fuck their teachers. Like, I don't like. Obviously,
it's not even necessarily like the idea that people are fucking Destiny anyway. Like, that's not really the problem. If Destiny was just like a famous streamer who women wanted to have sex with and did, and then sometimes they were like, "Oh, it wasn't that good" or something like that, that'd be fine. But that's not what's happening.
Yeah.
Like with the Anna situation, which is what was brought up here, there's like logs of him saying, "Oh yeah, I'll fix your public reputation one day, but right now I just want to rub your legs and feet." It's like that's like a specific exploitation of the power that he has over her to like control her behavior. Yeah, it's just totally fucked.
You don't fuck around in Twitch. I certainly don't.
Listen, being real, I said as much on the first day of the drama. I understand how that's callous, and Sherry probably took issue with me saying as much. However, I am sympathetic to a 19-year-old pixie. Yeah. I am less sympathetic to middle 20-year-old and 30-year-old women.
Yeah.
Who effectively watch Steven go through drama after drama after drama after drama, and then they're like, yeah, it's my turn. Like, that's fucking bananas to me.
Yeah.
What 30-year-old women is Destiny fucking?
It's not that easy. Like, a lot of women aren't like, a lot of the women he's like sleeping with don't like know all of that. I certainly didn't know he had a sordid past when I messaged him. I thought that there was one crazy girl and it was all her fault. Like, I had no idea that there was like several things throughout his past. I didn't really know anything until I read the Mr. Girl report. It's not like women are like, I mean, he's definitely fucking his fans. There are certain, I mean, of the fans he's fucking, there are people like Baby Peach or like people who are genuinely like not okay, like dealing with like some sort of like schizoaffective disorder. So like
Progressive Brianna
that's another
like
issue entirely, that like the women who are having sex with him after that maybe don't have as much agency as like someone else. Like, he's obviously going for women who are like
retarded.
Like, essentially, like I would not. I think Baby Peach shouldn't be living alone. Like, that's the level of like.
From what I've seen, I agree. Like, caretaker, like group home type mental illness.
Yes, literally. Yes, so, and to some degree, I felt that way about Anna as well. Like, I mean, to some degree, I feel that way about Pixie. Like, Pixie obviously is like, I'm trying to be as like kind as possible, but like, Pixie obviously I don't think has the same agency as someone like me. Like, I don't think. Yeah,
well, the thing is as well is it's all well and good to be like, oh, these women should have known all these controversies had in the past. But I mean, someone on the outside can say that. I don't really want to hear that from the orbiters. That every time these controversies came up again, they were like, oh, that's old. Why are you bringing that up? That's old. That's already settled. Yeah, that didn't happen.
That's been debunked. Yeah, totally.
Yeah, exactly.
It's either he does have a sordid past or he doesn't.
Yeah. But they've played defense for the entire last 5 years, so they don't get to say this.
Yeah.
So the second charge, okay. Destiny has used his audience to bully smaller creators with Demon Mama. Hold on, you're gonna love these two examples. With Demon Mama and Ryan Beard cited as examples. I have my take. I want to hear your take.
I think that's true. Bully, I mean, you can call it whatever you want, but don't start a fight with DGG. I mean, what can I say? I mean, look, this is the arena. This is streaming. There's 100%.
Okay, so I agree with this statement. What question? Sorry, somebody's saying that we're avoiding a question, so I want to ask them what question. So I think streaming does involve bullying and harassment. I think
Of course it does.
a chunk of people get bullied and harassed, and Steven is not.
My friend Eli is a really good example. This is a lovely young woman, very smart. I don't mind saying DGG was beyond abusive to her, right? Like she made some reasonable statements. They went after her, and Twitch lost a very intelligent, interesting young woman. It was really disgusting to see. So yeah, of course that happens.
Okay, so somebody said she dodged whether or not he has a pattern of unequal relationships. But I think so. Sorry, I'm actually going to defend you a little bit. I think she answered that question, which is basically that when you're an adult, you are an adult woman, you are an autonomous individual who's responsible for who you sleep with. I think that was the answer.
I think with the 19-year-old,
if the relationship is unequal,
with the 19-year-old, it's a little different, but you're still an adult.
Lav,
100%.
please message me back. I'm desperate.
And sorry, like I'm gonna say that as well. So I am more sympathetic to a 19-year-old pixie. However, we did decide that at 18, you're an adult. And this is the way that I said it. I checked in with my wife multiple times to make sure that I wasn't fucking.
So yeah, Connor came on my stream the other day to basically repeatedly say that that it was Pixie's fault, that she should have known, like, not to let herself be recorded and all this shit. When Destiny has literally fed the line of, oh, I'm all about consent, you know. I make sure everything's negotiated 5 days in advance, and it's like Pixie's supposed to, as a 19-year-old, establish that, oh wait, this guy who's like got a huge amount of social proof, huge audience that all say how amazing he is with consent, actually he's exploiting that position to try and get videos and images of me that he can then share around without my consent. Like, how the fuck is Pixie supposed to determine that?
Yeah, everything about this Pixie situation is fucked up. I think you can tell if you've seen the leak how apprehensive she is even about doing the act that she's doing. And then even he was aware of her apprehension and her naivety, which is why he framed it to Rose in the way that he did. Like, she's young, didn't really know what she was doing. Like, the whole thing is so disgusting. Like, he so clearly knew exactly what he was doing every step of the way.
Yeah, and then when Erudite apparently confronted on him, he says he probably didn't have consent to send it. Oh, what the fuck do you mean? You know Pixie. You know what she was like. You know what she was like around that time, especially.
19 is an adult. No, the
you
world
must know you didn't have consent. What do you mean
Stephen
fucking
is
probably?
also an adult
You don't just
who is
forget
more
that.
experienced.
And even in the
Why
logs,
is
it's
he
like
not
acknowledging
receiving any
exactly what
blame?
she was like. But there's no room for plausible deniability. There's no wiggle room there.
Yeah.
Crazy. But if a lot of people will position this in if you have a daughter. And people have asked me this question, you know, multiple times. They're like, well, what if it was your daughter? What if it was your daughter? And my answer consistently has been, I would go, just being real, I would go beat the fuck out of Steven, and I would tell my daughter to stop being such a fucking retard, right? And that's callous, sexist, whatever, right? But the reason, let's just run a scenario real quick and see if we're on the same page with our chat, okay? So your daughter is 18 years old. She walks up to you and she says, Dad, you didn't teach me about sex or relationships that much. I don't know a whole lot. There's a polyamorous sex guru on the internet with thousands of fans, and he wants to have a short-term hookup relationship with me.
This is the fallacy. This is the fallacy, is like, that's not what it is for anyone. Like, it's like, oh, this is a political streamer that, at least in my case, I was so desperate to get out of sex work, and I told him that, and he said, why don't you stream with me? This can open up an avenue where, like, you don't have to do what you hate to do. And I'm a political streamer, you can get into politics, like fully extending himself to me in a way that was, like, very friendly. And then it turned into something like, oh, right after that conversation, he was like, oh, by the way, I don't see any feet on your profile, he. Like, immediately after, he's offering me.
Was that in the Mr. Girl report? How much of that is in text, and how much was it?
That's in the Mr. Girl report. I actually also have that in the form of in the Mr. Girl report. It shows, like, that conversation exactly, him telling me about streaming, and then, like, 3 messages down, asking me about my feet. Here, I can actually pull that up probably. It's gonna take a little bit though.
All right, I'll keep on the video.
Should I do this? What is your answer? Because I know my answer 100 times out of 100 is no, you fucking dipshit. Do not have sex with the fucking sex guru, polyamorous person. Like that is what the fuck? Like
No,
why do I have to pretend that this is like secret knowledge? Like no, anybody with like a fucking IQ above 80 can figure this shit out.
All right, I've had a king. Here, I'm writing.
It's rude. It's mean. My apologies.
No. This isn't about you. I fully agree.
Well, I'm going to answer the. Are you doing something else? So I should answer the second question while you're doing it.
Keep going.
Okay. So Destiny has bullied smaller streamers with Demon Mama and Ryan Beard cited as examples. I'm sympathetic to people who have gotten dogpiled. It's not fun.
No.
Being a smaller creator, having dozens of people calling you a fucking moron in your DMs, people blowing you up on Discord, calling you cringe and lame and all that kind of stuff. It sucks. Okay. I'm not saying it doesn't suck. The reason why I thought it was funny that he used Demon Mama and Ryan Beard as examples, and this is
I literally do not care about Demon Mama.
Becoming
Ryan Beard,
one big thing where Max Carson has been proven right that Destiny is a bad man worthy of social isolation.
Sure. I just think the structure of Twitch doesn't really have much to do with non-consensual sexual imagery, but I understand the point. Yeah.
Okay. And then Marvel says Connor with the it's their fault for participating 1098. I mean, you got it. But hold on. So Marbles, you might actually be you might be surprised. You might be surprised by something that I say in reference to this. I agree that the debate scene is particularly gladiatorial and there can be highly emotional and borderline abusive debates. I agree with that.
Yeah.
One of the examples brought up in the Destiny report that I think is credible is Melina fighting Darius after they went to Austin, Texas, where Melina had said that Darius's dog, who was infected with parvo and on the verge of death, should be put down because Darius could not afford the care for the dog. And then Steven brought both of them on in order to debate that on stream. I'm going to tell you, in my opinion, that is psycho shit.
Yeah, that's
right?
over the line.
That's way over the line. Anybody with like an ounce of empathy, and this actually includes all three because I do think all three of them are partially responsible. However, somebody, and Steven's the host of the show, right? I think that he should have had the maturity.
Is Connor's missing like half of this story here because like the whole setup for that was about like some Austin, Texas trip that Melina took to go see Darius. And basically, Darius looked like a total creep. Because it seemed like for no reason.
Important.
Okay, there's
Did Destiny duck that reply girl on Twitter named Courtney? This is very important.
Someone in chat is asking you specifically, did Destiny fuck the reply girl on Twitter called Courtney? With a dono, a $5 dono.
What?
Do you know if Destiny fucked Courtney, the Twitter reply girl?
Oh, I have no idea.
Okay, well, my $5 dono asked me that, so I had to read it out.
Oh.
To understand that his wife was under an incredible amount of pressure at that time, partially because of their relationship, but also because of that drama unfolding. I think that he should have been sympathetic to Darius, who was obviously under a bunch of emotional stress. He usually is, but at the same time, they were having a really bad time. And he basically said, well, let's take this offline. And he said that once. And then after that, he kind of led a circus of them ripping themselves apart.
Oh, yeah, I would say the whole backstory to this was that Destiny cheated with Lauren Southern, and then Darius was like on a trip with Melina because she was upset about it. And she was like entertaining the idea with moving in with him. Then Destiny's whole community thought Darius was just like some psycho creep. I mean, you know, he might be a psycho creep, but thought in this situation he was just being a delusional like psycho creep trying to like get with Melina. When really the whole backstory was like he'd had this like months-long affair with Lauren Southern where he almost broke off the marriage, and that's why the situation had been created. It's just so crazy how people get fucked because just Destiny's got some secret that he doesn't want to let out, and everyone else just to fall on the sword for it. It's fucking insane.
On stream. And that was actually one of the examples that I agreed with. I just flat out agreed with. I think that was some fucking crazy shit that should have never been on stream. The fuck does this have to do with the allegations? I already said what it has to do with it. Mr. Girl's doing a victory lap, so we're checking to see whether or not the Mr. Girl report lines up with
the Mr. Girl report was just rambling nonsense. Like the reason it had the saliency is because it was so badly written. No one's going to sit there and read all that.
Well, Chud Logic did. And Chud Logic stated, and I think this is astute, is that it was a CDO. Do you remember what a CDO is from 2008?
I don't.
Okay. It's from a movie. I think it has Steve Carell and it has Ryan Gosling in it. I forget what it is. The Big Short. I think it's called. And so a CDO is a collateralized debt obligation. It's where you take a bunch of homeowners loans. You have several of them that are good. Then you mix them in with a whole bunch of, well, in this case, allegations, but in the case of a CDO, a bunch of bad loans. You sell it as a speculative investment using the good loans as an exterior front. And then you just sell it as a piece of trash, and then eventually it financially implodes, right? And so in my opinion, and I think in Chud Logic's opinion, is that the Mr. Girl report was a CDO. there were 2 or 3 decent allegations that were worthy of criticism and analysis, but there was another dozen allegations and points that had no business being in the report at all.
That makes
and
sense.
that actually, the last one was the bullying can be so bad that people consider suicide, and Hassan Piker was used as the example. I think it's so similar to the other points we don't need to spend any time on it.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. All right, let's get going.
Okay, so maybe this is me sharing my distaste for something, and that this, you can just blame this on me if they're like, oh, they spent more time talking shit about Max Carson than they did anything else. Well, listen, I think this deserves a little bit of shit talking. Okay, this is Max Carson's current reaction to the drama.
And me for some reason. They're acting like I'm championing like any sort of like coverage over this. This is the first time I've like really streamed about it myself. I've like joined JSTLK's stream. I've had I acted as like a moderator for Irrelevant and Mr. Girl. Like I did not. This has not been like my fight. I've like not tried to put like a dog in the race, except for today when I'm like, yeah, I'll go over this because I have a personal experience. I'm not tying myself to it in any way. I'm not doing any sort of investigation. I'm not talking to the victims. Neither is Max. Like, I have no idea why they think that, like, we are doing anything other than, like, commentating on this, which every single person online is doing right now.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know how you're going to hand-wring over Mr. Girl doing a I Told You So episode of the Hotline when Destiny does, like, you know, divorce manifesto nukes and
yes, you're about to see. I've already watched this part. He's like, this is fucking insane. He says that about like Max doing this like hotline. He's like, this is fucking insane, which is like more of a reaction he had to Destiny's like actual allegations. Like it's it's so retarded.
I truly don't understand how they rationalize the response they have to shit like this. It's like it just says it's just a tweet announcement that says I told you so.
Yeah.
What are you so fucking upset about? There's nothing to be upset about here.
So I will be hosting a special emergency episode of my call-in show, Mr. Girl Hotline. I told you so.
So you're a Destiny fan. You're crying about tone-deaf tweets or something.
Yeah,
or
yeah, 100%.
And he's in a tank top, or some people colloquially call this a wife beater. He has his arms up. We can see his armpits and muscles. His muscles look good. We'll admit that. And he's wearing sunglasses.
Connor wants me on. Connor wants me on.
Go. Get on. Talk to Wu. Go on. Talk to Wu.
Okay.
Oh shit. Oh shit. How do I duplicate tab? Why is it not showing up? Duplicate. There we go. Where's Wu left?
Oh.
Did we leave?
Yeah. To him and fight them, but I don't want you to strain your voice, and I don't want you to get stressed out talking to a-hole.
He let Wu go!
Okay.
Fuck!
I'll see Sam.
Fuck!
All right.
No! Fuck!
I will send Lav. I'll send an invite as well. At Kuihman.
Oh, I'm being added too.
Let me make sure. Sorry if it's dead air, but honestly,
how do I do this without fucking my shit up? 1 minute. 1 minute. I just set up my devices. Shit. 1 minute. 1 minute. 1 second. Testing. Okay, that should be fine.
Platform just a lot of denigrating them on Sour. It wasn't and also sleeping people, which I think is perfectly accurate condemnation of Destiny, or at least it was before the recent allegations. Who's this?
This is Kuihman.
Oh, Kuihman, my ally, my friend and ally. And yeah, Max is doing commentary on this just as everyone else on the internet. We're not hitching our boats and championing this. Obviously, this is something like JSTLK is speaking directly to the victims. He's having the information. I've only spoken to Pixie through maybe one DM saying, like, I support you. I'm sorry for, getting caught in the machine, bullying you on stream, that sort of thing. I've only shown Cherry support publicly, like on her posts. I've not tried to get any more information. I'm not trying to be the newscaster for this or anything. I think I'm talking about it because I think anyone should be talking about this. Anyone who has been victimized by Destiny in any way, I think should be talking right now. Because
okay, I'm testing my audio. How are the volume levels? How are the volume levels?
And that's basically my involvement. For Brianna Wu to act like I'm making this about me, very silly. I'm only responding to this. I'm making this about me now because Brianna Wu has made it about me in accusing me of this. But otherwise, I've tried really hard, I think, to just sort of commentate the same way you have, the same way Kuihman has, the same way that I mean, not even the way that Kuihman has, because Kuihman's like trying to get facts and like trying to report on it in a journalistic like way.
Yeah, that's a bit much.
Never underestimate Kuihman.
That's over the top. I wouldn't say journalistic, but sure.
Well, but definitely more like you're trying to get the facts, whereas I'm just kind of watching it unfold and reacting to it.
Like an autistic cruise missile.
Sure. But yeah, it's crazy to me that Brianna Wu now has condemned me more than I think any other person online. I've never seen her condemn anyone the way that she's condemned me.
Okay, I think you and I have had friendly banter in the past. I will continue to try to do friendly banter, but I am just going to press you a little bit, just because I think that there are things
Trust me,
that.
Connor.
Okay, so the main thing, and I am being a douche about it.
We're going to moderate pro Lav. Okay, I'm going to cut in and moderate
cudgel
pro Lav.
with which you are repeatedly beaten.
We're going to make Lav win this.
Is that you alleged that Hassan Piker had an illicit but consensual affair with a friend of yours?
Okay. Again, I don't know what this has to do with the fact that Destiny has been accused of a sexual crime. So again, we can talk about me forever, and we always do. The problem is that this is always running defense for things that I have said about Steven that have turned out to consistently be true. Everything I have said otherwise, hold on. Everything I've said otherwise has become completely true. I was sitting on the Lauren Southern information for 2 years, never came forward about it. I knew that Pixie and him had a sexual relationship. I've known a lot about the sexual impropriety, have not come forward about it. Because of fear or because of being called a liar, because I've learned to not say things without substantiating them, right? I will be the first one to say I should never have said in a Discord 3 years ago that I knew Hassan Piker had sex with my underage friend. And I have every single time this is brought up said I shouldn't have done this. I did not lie. There's a difference between a lie and an unsubstantiated story. I have said I'm not going to substantiate. The truth will come out when it comes out. It's not my problem. It's not my responsibility to do.
They're okay. And by the way, okay, if you want me to make some statement of contrition, some statement of agreement, where I just say, hey, this Pixie thing is beyond fucked up, and I wish Pixie the best in her legal endeavors, I'll say it.
This Pixie situation fucked up is also running defense. The fact that you have yet to name Destiny as a sexual predator.
I don't think I haven't said that Steven is culpable for what he's done. If you need me to say it again, I will.
Even the way that you're talking about it right now. Your friend has been accused of recording a sexual encounter with someone without their consent and then sending it to someone else. And then recording something with a naive 19-year-old girl and sending that without her consent. These are sexual crimes. This makes someone a piece of shit. And you even now are saying, I saw you talk about Mr. Girl and the fact that he's doing like a Told You So podcast, and you were like, this is fucking insane. I've seen you react more harshly. I've seen you react more harshly to that than the accusations against Steven. It's insane.
I disagree. I disagree. I don't think you watched. So what I can come up with my own phrasing, but I don't want it to be picked apart. So do you have a phrase that I can say that would make you think that I actually do think Steven is an asshole and a piece of shit for what he did, and he does deserve the consequences?
I've got one.
I've got
one. Say Destiny should be on the sex offender registry.
Yeah.
No, I'm not saying that.
Why not?
Why not?
You don't think future partners have a right to know?
Fucking pedophiles.
You don't think future partners have a right to know that this guy might be recording them without their knowledge when they have sex with him?
If you find me the Florida state statute that says that leaking sex crimes, leaking sex tapes gets you on the sex crimes registry, then I'll say.
I'm not asking you a legal. This isn't a legal question. Yeah, this isn't a legal question.
So you realize that we create laws based on like moral principle, right?
Yeah,
so it doesn't matter that the law does not yet or will ever
exist. Hold on.
exist.
So if we're going to be retarded, okay. So I was trying to start something. But if you guys just want to spurg out in a retard session, we can do that too.
Who's spurging? You said, what phrase can you say that will convince?
So I'll tell you that I'm not going to say that phrase. And the reason why I'm not saying that phrase isn't because I'm sweeping, quote unquote. The reason why I'm not going to say that phrase is because the sex offender registry basically means that you can't live certain places. You can't rent a whole bunch of places. It's very difficult to get jobs. And pretty much everybody in the world assumes that you're a pedophile. So you have to live in a trailer park along with a bunch of other
so
pedophiles.
location.
Hold on, I'm
So
not done
first,
yet, Queenman. I'm not done yet. You asked
two
me
of
a
those
question, I'm
concerns are
answering it.
illegitimate. Two of those concerns are completely illegitimate.
I'm going to continue the
context.
concept.
Because
And so,
Destiny can
no,
live
I
anywhere
don't
he
think
wants
that
because he's got loads of
Steven
money. He
belongs
doesn't have
in
to
a
work
trailer
again.
park
So
with pedophiles, broke and destitute. No, I don't think that's a parallel consequence.
how would he be
to his
broke and
actions.
destitute? How's he suddenly going to lose all of his money?
That's where you want to go.
Well, no, I mean, you're asking how's he get? You're saying he's going to be destitute in a trailer park.
Pedophiles who live it. Okay, so hold on, Queenman. So instead
How is
of
he going to
focusing-
end up in
I
a
swear to
trailer
God,
park?
no,
How
you
does
wanna make it
Destiny
retarded,
end up
I'll
in a
make it
trailer park?
retarded.
Answer my
So,
question.
okay.
Answer my question.
So,
How's
okay,
Destiny?
let's say
You
that
made it
Steven still
retarded.
has
You just
all
made it
money.
retarded by coming up with some crazy story about Destiny being in a trailer park.
No, Queenman, if you want to make it gay and retarded, we can do this, okay? So
you just made it gay and
your
retarded
main
talking about some
objection-
crazy
your main
story about
objection
trailer
to what
parks.
I just
Connor.
said, which is no, Queenman, I'm not going to humor you by saying the sentence, is that Steven will still have money, so he'll be fine. So hold on, I'm gonna flip this on you.
No, I'm pointing out the fact that you brought up two criteria that make no sense in this
for him
context.
to live in a trailer park with pedophiles. You think that's
Okay.
an accurate consequence for what he's done?
I don't think that this
I don't
is
see that
a
as the
productive
consequence. That's not what I was saying.
Do you think?
But Queenman wants the fucking shitpost, so we'll
Connor,
shitpost. Let's go.
Do you think that Destiny is a sexual predator?
No.
And why is that? What constitutes in your eyes a sexual predator?
I think a predator would be somebody who's like taking advantage of people who have no capacity or agency.
Okay, so
when you
record someone without their consent and distribute that, what are you doing?
I would say you're violating the consent of that person.
And what does that mean? It means that they are not able to have, you're taking their agency away from them, correct?
Okay.
So is Steven a sexual predator?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not. Listen, guys, if you want to take a
Connor, this is like
orbiter or former orbiter and get them to call him a pedophile because you
Who
feel
said
like
that?
you're winning.
Is that the only thing? Is that the only? So Steven is not a sexual predator until he fucks
You know what?
someone who's
I've already
18.
answered 3 or 4 questions, so I'm just going to ask the question again because, again, this is the cudgel with which you're beaten over the head with which you won't answer.
Okay.
Did Paris Jackson
About
sleep
Hassan?
with Hassan Piker when she was 17?
I'm screaming. This can't be real. Chat, is this real? Chat,
It's
is this
real. I'm asking you a very straightforward question that has a factual answer, yes or no. I typically answer your questions relatively quickly. You can answer my question relatively quickly.
It is my belief, and I have alleged that Hassan Piker slept with my friend before she was 18 years old. Yes, I have repeatedly said this. I've repeatedly said this. I will not go back on it because I know it to be true. Hassan is not taking me to court. I await him taking me to court. I have continuously publicly said this. I don't know what else to do. Yes. What the fuck does this have to do with Steven?
I just wanted you to answer a straightforward question.
Okay, well, you got your answer, so can we go back to the sexual predator question?
It's like it's insane, actually. It's insane.
No, it's not. It's
real.
actually, it's very sane. This is the one thing that people have been trying to get you to answer for a very long time. So I'm happy you
She said it many times.
Yeah. Brought up.
So every single time that somebody has asked you, did Hassan Piker have sex with Paris Jackson when she was 17? You've said yes?
Yes, every single time. Every single time.
Okay, first, I don't think that's necessarily true. I think sometimes you've declined to comment. You have declined to comment once in a while, I think.
No, I said I'm not substantiating. I said it's not. I said I'm not substantiating.
But it's true.
Yeah, I will go on record to say yes. I believe that this is true. Yes.
Okay, that's fine. All right, you answered my question. We can move to whatever the fuck else you want.
Okay, Connor. So if you completely remove someone's agency by taking away even the possibility of them consenting to an act because you do it to them unknowingly, how are you not a predator? You have removed their agency and taken advantage of it. How does that not qualify as predation?
Okay, we're gonna go autistic, so we'll just Google sexual predator definition real quick. and by the way, you could have Googled the statute by now, but I guess I'll do it.
The statute for what? There isn't a statute that's called sexual predator. It's a colloquialism.
Yes, there is for people who are in order to get on the sexual offender registry, you obviously have to violate.
Yeah, I wasn't asking
laws.
a question about the law. I was asking morally, do you think this guy should be on the sex offender registry?
Shut up, you fucking homo. Yes, you were.
Connor, do you think that there are laws that don't exist that should exist?
Sure.
Connor, unlike you, I don't do legal analysis on Twitter, okay, buddy? So I'm not asking about the law. I'm asking about morals.
Did you not
wait, hold on.
ask me
Connor,
in
do you
the
think it should be
beginning of this
illegal
fucking
to
conversation
record
if he
someone
belonged
and
on the
distribute
sexual offender registry?
Yeah.
Was
Do
that
you
not a
think?
question that you
Do you
asked?
think Destiny should have a public record made that tells future partners that he behaves in an improper way sexually? Yeah, I'm not asking for legal analysis. Correct.
Oh, fuck yourself, Kuihman. Let me read instead of going off.
Do you think it should be?
So you can't make a moral judgment,
to,
okay?
Do you think it should be illegal to
what I'm getting so far,
record someone
what
and
I'm
then
getting so
distribute it
far
unconsensually?
seems like my instincts are correct. which is a sexual predator is a type of sexual offender who has committed a particularly severe sex crime. The term predator is often used to describe someone who habitually seeks out exploitative sexual situations. Differences between a sexual predator and a sex offender: severity of the crime, frequency of the crime, prior sex offenses, type of crime. So no, I don't think that Steven should be deemed a sexual predator or go onto the sex offender registry for what he's done. No, I don't think so.
Is that a moral position or a legal position, Connor?
You lot.
Is
this
that
a legal analysis based off of what I was able to
I'm
pull
not
up
asking
on
for
a
layman's. I'm not asking for layman legal analysis. I'm asking for a moral position. I'm asking about what you think, Connor.
And I already gave you an answer, which is no. I don't think that going on the sex offender registry is proportional to the crime he's committed.
Okay, so how do you make sure that women he interacts with in the future know that there is a significant chance he is recording them, even when he claims otherwise?
I don't know how to solve that for the women who Destiny sleeps with. I don't know how to fix that for them.
Well,
so you just think you should be allowed to go on, or what's your prescription?
Do you have a solution, Kuihman?
Yeah, I think you should be put on sex offender registry.
Okay. I think you're fucking insane, but that's fine.
Okay, we don't have any reasoning.
I think there's several things that should happen. I think that there should be way more. I think that this kind of shows that like the liberal, sex positive attitude completely is unsustainable. Like I think that the casual sex attitude, the have sex with whoever attitude, is completely counterproductive for women. I said this like 3 years ago. I think that my involvement with Steven was a learning lesson for me to never do anything like that again. And I think that I've mostly said that I think I've taken a lot of accountability by saying that I shouldn't have put myself in that position and that no other woman should. Of course, you can only hold women as accountable as they can be without also then saying that there is a guy who wants to hurt you and you should avoid him, right? Like there is still the part where you are avoiding the guy that wants to hurt you. Yeah, I think that, I don't know about you guys, I think that recording, even if it's not in law right now, I think that morally there should be a law that says that you cannot record someone without their consent and then distribute it without their consent. I think most people are in agreement that way. If the law doesn't exist, it should. And then if the law exists, obviously, I think that there should be a consequence for that behavior. When you are on a registry, it doesn't just say that you're on a registry for anything. It gives exactly your crime usually. I think that he should be on a registry saying that he has distributed unconsensual content in media, obviously. I don't know why you would die on the hill that that's something that he shouldn't be. I think it's obvious that he should face severe consequences for actions like that.
Okay. It should be a black mark that follows you for the rest of your life. It should follow you for the rest of your life, 100%.
I would like to respond. So anyways, Lav, you and I both share the perspective that we are both fairly, well, I would say I am anyways, fairly sex negative. I don't like the positivity. I don't like the sweeping. Matter of fact, I think I wrote down a script the other week where I was like, and you can correct me if this isn't a summary of your perspective, was effectively that when you came onto the Twitch and YouTube political scene, you were concerned that young women were being recruited by OnlyFans and sex workers to get into the industry at an age that was inappropriate for their like ability to consent to the concept. Yeah. And as a result, they were paying dire social consequences and financial consequences for their participation in sex work. Does that seem like an accurate summary of your belief at that time?
Yeah.
Yeah, you and I are in fucking lockstep right there. Mm-hmm. And not only that, like I am probably with you in lockstep as far as like this degenerate fucking Coomer culture that's permissive of all this bullshit. I don't think I think people, 95% of people, 99% of people should be serial monogamous. They should have one partner that they stick with and that they're loyal to. And if they don't work out as a partner, then they break up and then they're loyal to their next partner. They move on from that. And what's happening right now in my fucking chat is there's all these fucking degenerate pieces of shit Coomer who want me to come your way and Kuihman's way and say that Steven is the worst fucking pedophile piece of shit on the fucking planet and he deserves to be burned at the fucking stake and he deserves to live on Pedophile Island in the fucking trailer park. But they don't admit that Coomer culture
remind me to avoid Pedophile Island
fucking situation.
Yeah, I mean, I obviously think you're taking artistic liberties when you say that. That's not what I'm saying. I don't think
over
so.
Here, Kuihman is like, fuck yeah, I want him to go on the pedophile list.
Yeah, I think he should. I think Steven should not have access to women
Don't
to abuse
forget
anymore.
this
So I
was
don't
your
think that he should have a
man's.
platform anymore.
I've been saying
that will happen
someone has
naturally.
to smooch him on the head
And I think
before
that,
he pulls
obviously
a
he should be,
Benoit. He has no
Hey,
thoughts,
Michael
so that when
let
people
alone
Google the
morals.
boy that they're going on a date with, the man they're going on a date with, they see that he's done stuff like this, so they can avoid it.
Connor, are you out
because-
there fighting for people who publicly urinate and get put on the sex offender registry? Are you out there campaigning against that, or do you think this is probably a more legitimate use case of the sex offender registry than
I'm
pissing
not
in
out there
public?
fighting for them, but I 100% believe that people who get caught pissing in public shouldn't be on the sex offense registry.
Okay, do you think this is probably a better use
you?
case for the sex offender registry than people pissing in public?
Wait, sorry, what's that?
Do you think this is a better use case for the sex offender registry than people pissing
On
in
a
public?
spectrum of sex offense, I would agree that sending sending intimate
Okay, so
images
stop pretending it's a completely
without the
absurd
consent of
idea. So stop
involved
pretending it's a
parties
completely
is more
absurd
serious
idea.
than pissing
first
in
of all.
public. Yes, I agree with that.
Stop pretending it's completely absurd, because within our current framework, this would make total sense. Next, do you think that Destiny's behavior here is rooted in some kind of pathology?
Okay, yes, 100%.
Do you think that you should have to inform partners that you have AIDS?
Yes.
Okay, so if Destiny has a pathology that causes him to harm people during sex, do you not think he should be required to inform future partners?
He should be required to inform future partners that he previously recorded sexual partners.
That he has that he is so unable, so pathologically fucked in regards to sex that there is a good chance he will harm you if you have sex with him.
No. Okay.
Okay,
and
why
Kuihman,
not?
I'm actually.
Where's the
hold on, I'm
delaying
going to ask
factor?
you a question. I'm going to ask you a question. Based on your own logic, let's say that we have a 17-year-old who, and by the way, this happens all the fucking time. We have 17-year-olds who film themselves shooting pornographic content amongst each other, and they text and send it to each other. Do you think that those people should go on to the sex offender registry?
No, the children that are full agency.
Connor, they're.
What if they're 18? What if they're 18? That 18 in
Connor.
one day.
Yeah, once you, I mean, they should.
Kuihman's asking me all these fucking gay hypotheticals. We're gonna do it.
Pegging.
So
The-
18 in one day.
One of the 20.
They send both parties involved are 18 in one day. Should both of those people go on the sex offender registry?
Sorry, can you explain the full story? Like, what's the hypothetical
Shut
you're giving me
up.
here?
Hold on.
Connor, how
we're
old
gonna
is
do it.
Steven? How old is Steven?
He's 35. But this is obviously on a fucking. This is on a spectrum, right? So we need to figure
Yeah,
out.
yeah.
Where the
So
line
tell me
is,
the
right?
story here. Give me the story. What's the hypothetical?
So let's say we have two couples, right? They don't know each other. There's female and male couples or homosexual. I don't care what you fantasize about. One party films the other party during like a sex act, and they both know it, but then they distribute that pornography to another party without the consent. Okay. Then flip flop the reverses. That way we don't have to deal with gender dynamics, right? So you both have 18 years old sharing porn with each other without consent. Should those people go on the sex offense registry?
Yeah.
You're fucking insane.
That's not
you
insane.
don't
Sharing
touch
porn without
real
consent
world
is one of the
rap.
most fucked up things you can do, especially in permanent forms.
You know what? Maybe
You're
the
insane.
first time. Maybe the first time, no. Maybe the first time, no.
Sure.
The second
I would
time,
agree with that.
Probably.
Well, and by the way, I'm with Lav here because basically, if
So Destiny reaches
Steven,
your
hold on.
standard then. If
I'm
two
talking-
times is
I
enough,
have the-
Connor.
I have the talking stick, and you are autistic and retarded, so I would like to talk. So, in this scenario, I agree with Lav because if you commit this crime once, that could be a mistake, honest mistake, whatever. But if you have a dozen or a few dozen times that you have done this, then at that point, I do think that it would be an indication of predation.
Okay. How many times do you think Destiny's done it?
We know of 2.
I think that's
Okay. Do you think he's kind of getting there? Do you think he's getting towards predation?
After 2?
I
Yeah, we
mean,
could be
you
getting
said, yeah, I mean, you said not first offense, maybe the second. 3, apparently, anyway. We know of 3, apparently. I'm guessing it's Pixie, Cherry, Grinder hookups. 4, in fact, if we count both Grinder
yeah,
hookups
we
that
know.
he
We
claims
know
to have
about.
recorded.
Yeah, we know about that as well. So yeah, there is 3.
Okay, so if I was a state attorney, okay, if I was a state attorney and I was asked to bring this case, okay, the statutes, and by the way, the legal analysis
Oh,
is
5 with
important.
Melina. Sorry,
Dimwit
5 with
piece of
Melina.
shit.
Sorry,
Shut the fuck-
I've
so shut the
5
fuck
with
up when you
Melina.
don't care
Sorry,
about legal
5.
analysis
5.
because I
Sorry.
care about legal analysis and I'm a third of the conversation.
Wait,
Okay.
also his ex.
Oh,
right?
and Blue
So
Tea,
that's
6. Blue Tea, 6. Oh, wow, this is stacking up quickly, isn't it, Connor? Wow. Sounds
Well,
like
it
your
is.
boy's a sex
So-
offender.
Yeah, so at this point, you know what you need because you care about this so much. You care about this.
You don't even
care
need
about
to care
women.
I care about
You
people
don't
being
even
wrong
need to
online,
care
Connor.
about
That's what I care
Kuihman
about.
is
Is
the
people
most
being wrong online.
virtuous orbiter here. He cares about women. He cares about sex offenses. He cares about all this. So, Kuihman, here's
Sorry,
my
Nod.
advice to you. Since you care about this so passionately that you think that Kuihman or you think that Steven should go to the fucking trailer park with the pedophiles, what you can do is you can line up those witnesses. You can get them to sign sworn written affidavits that they have discovered the fact that they've had revenge porn leaked against them against their consent. You can have them sign on the dotted line where it says that they're willing to prosecute. You can get a state attorney in the state of Florida in order to get it done. And
Wait,
then
he's
you can
done
work
way
with that
more
state
than
attorney in
5.
order to make
He
sure that
has
it actually
5
gets pushed through the
victims.
courts.
He
And then when he
victimized them much
catches
more than
half a
that by
dozen
sending it
felonies,
to
all,
lots
like
of
third-degree
people.
felonies all at the same time, then he'll go to Pedophile Island. And because you care about this topic so much, I know that you're going to dedicate the next few months of your lives in order to do that, right?
Why would I do that? Why I'm just giving my opinion online.
Whenever we pin you, it turns into why do you care so much? You don't even care that much.
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
I don't know why.
It's just like people
I know
giving their
why you
opinion.
care, Lav, and I
You-
don't think
you're-
I ever said that about you.
Connie,
I am
you're being
sarcastic.
asked. You're being
It doesn't
asked for a
even
position
matter.
on this, and you're deflecting
You
to
don't
other
even need
people
a good
not doing
motive.
anything.
You
Right?
don't even need a good motive. Obviously, he did something wrong.
Who
you
said
don't need a
different?
motive. Well,
Who said different?
Well, it's the I guess it's the fact that you like will not.
Yeah, you're being asked for an opinion on this. You're being asked for a stance.
keep
You
minimizing.
said, how do I convince you that I actually think about this the way that you want me to? And I gave you an example. Now, we've been arguing over the whole sex offender thing. I don't know why it suddenly comes down to, well, if you care about this so much, but that's not the point. We were talking about what our prescriptions are here, what we think of the situation, what our opinions are.
If we're,
I don't know why that requires me to.
Kuihman, if we're just sharing our opinions,
I mean, yeah, we're
then
on
you
a
two-
debate live stream.
You two think that he should be on a sex offender registry, and I don't.
Okay, so could you give me reasoning for that? What's wrong with my reasoning? Why do you not think he should have to
because
inform
on the
future partners?
spectrum of crime committed by human beings, there's sharing nudes in pornographic videos, and then there's forcibly raping people. And I think there's probably a spectrum of crime in between that are not as serious. Lav, shut the fuck up. He asked a question. I'm going to answer it. So there's a spectrum of sex crime here, right? So I think that rapists and pedophiles should probably be by the state. Okay.
Real town square.
And then I think that people who send pornographic images
Should be on the list.
probably receive civil penalties and maybe some criminal penalties depending on how reckless they are.
So what's the list
That's my
used for?
spectrum.
What's the list used
But
for?
you're saying that you want him to suffer a consequence over
Yeah,
here.
wait,
and
no.
I'm saying that it's
What's
not
the
that
list
big of a
used for? So you think pedophiles and rapists should be, and people who share unconsensual material should be given civil penalties? Who's the list used for?
Pedophiles.
But I thought they were.
Just pedophiles.
Well, I mean, I would them, yeah.
Yeah. So who do you
I'm
think the
talking about how
list?
it's used
So
now.
yeah. So
Who should be on
which
the list,
crimes? Yeah. Who's on the list to you? Who should be on the list?
The list is a death row list.
No, the sex offender registry. You fucking retard.
Yeah, I wouldn't keep sex offenders around.
You wouldn't have any sex offender registry. There's no sex crimes you can think of that people shouldn't be for, but should be put on a list for.
Well, I mean, you're smart. You got that Jewish
you call
IQ.
him a
Listen,
predator?
I'm in here getting
No,
beaten
I'm
up
asking.
by
There's
two
not a
Jews.
single. There's not a
Hold on,
single
hold on.
crime
This
you
is
can
an
think of
important
for that
point.
list.
Kuihman, this is an important point. I am surrounded. I am a Gaelic Goyim, and I am surrounded by two
Humble brag.
Ashkenazi Jewish people who are
First of
super
all, I'm
intelligent.
barely Ashkenazi. I'm Mexican.
Well, anyways, the point is that, like, realistically, you keep asking me for solutions, but I know that both of you are wildly intelligent. So what do you think are the crimes that are in the middle that warrant a sex offense registry, but don't warrant the death penalty?
It's not a middle
Connor,
to me
it's the
because I don't
fact
think
that-
the
it's
death
the fact
penalty
that
is
we
legit
named
anyway,
6
Connor.
Why don't you
things
just
off
answer
the
a question
top.
instead of being about it, Kuihman?
It's the fast.
I don't believe in the death penalty. There's no in between to me, Connor, because that endpoint doesn't exist. I'm asking for
Oh,
your
well, you're a
opinion.
pussy,
So for
so-
once, could you give an opinion on something and
we're
stop
just friends
deflecting
sharing
like a
opinions here,
fucking
Kuihman.
coward? You pathetic wretch. Answer
I'm
the
not a
question.
coward. Kuihman,
Which crimes do you think
Kuihman.
belong on the
Kuihman.
sex
Kuihman.
offender
Kuihman.
registry?
Kuihman.
Which
Kuihman.
crimes? Name them.
Kuihman, in real life, I would eat you. Like, you are 5'2" and you weigh 110 pounds.
Destiny fan, by the way.
I could
Destiny
choke you with one
got
hand.
got
and I
bitched
could
out by
eat your
Destiny
body
for
in a
5
single
years
meal.
straight.
So
Bitched
don't
out by
say
Destiny for 5 years
coward,
straight, talking
don't
about
say
small skinny
bitch,
people.
don't
Bitched
say
out by Destiny for
pussy,
5 years straight,
because if
talking
you
like
ever
this.
came within
Bitched
6
out by a
feet
guy
of me,
half
you
his
would
height,
die.
no
You
muscle
would
mass. You got
die.
bitched out by him for 5 years.
You would die.
Shall we?
You would die. So anyways, Kuihman, because we're just friends here, sharing our opinions, I've asked you the question 3 or 4 times now.
I've asked you a question 3 or 4 times. I want my answer, Connor. I want my answer. I'm not answering a question.
I asked you a question.
Answer my question.
And
Which
question
crimes
was,
belong on the
Fine,
sex offender
your
registry,
talk's out,
Connor?
I'll be the judge. Fine.
I have a nice one. So anyways, the point is, what crimes do you think lie in the middle that warrant a sex offense registry?
I mean, pretty much any sex crime, I think, should be on sex offender registry. So
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you.
That goes from child molestation, rape, recording without consent, a bunch of crimes I could list off.
Okay,
not
so
not disclosing an STD before sleeping with someone.
A rapist and somebody who records a sexual audio log should share the same penalty.
Nope. I think rapists should get more prison time, Connor, but they should still both be on the registry.
Let me talk. Kuihman is.
Well,
let mommy talk. Let mommy talk, Kuihman. Let mommy talk.
I will be respectful to women.
Okay. If you.
I'm AFK.
I don't even know how to have this conversation with you right now. We've given now 6 different instances of a pattern of Stephen releasing things without people's consent.
Okay.
It's so by itself, I think out of 10, recording someone, showing it to someone else, 10 being like rape, 1 being like coming up to someone and saying you look good tonight. I think probably on its face, if it was private and without like a global public stage, the Pixie situation would be like a 6. I think the Cherry situation would be like a 7 or an 8. Given what we know about, given this being completely public and the damage that this could personally do to Pixie, especially, given the fact that she like wants to dedicate her life and career to this space, this could damage this is irreparable damage to her. So I think that makes it a little worse. And then also the fact that this is that we know now through multiple direct messages, private messages, that Stephen has a blackmail kink, and he's played out this kink with multiple people and asked people to do it. And now suddenly he's saying, oh, I'm not even going to look for the leaker anymore because no one cares. I think that this story is even more nefarious than you're willing to admit. So I think, do I think that he raped someone forcibly? Is this a Brock Turner situation? No, but I don't think that that's the only sex crime you need to have done to be a sex criminal. Obviously, he has a pattern of habitually doing things without women's consent or without men's consent. Obviously, he has a sadistic pleasure in releasing these things to people without consent. So it doesn't make any sense to not call him a sexual predator. We named 6 instances of sexual impropriety off the cuff, and we don't even have all the information yet. So
okay, let's presume, for the sake of conversation, that we have half a dozen women whose porn was shared without their consent, and Kuihman thinks that he should be on a sex offense registry.
Yeah,
I think he doesn't live in the real world, and his country currently lets out rapists at like 5 years. But
you've got no idea what you're talking about.
Do you want to look up the fucking grooming gang fucking like release?
Yeah, you're going off of a Twitter misinformation post that was talking about how some girl got quadruple penetrated by a Muslim grooming gang. It never actually received a 5-year sentence. They all got life. But anyway, carry on.
Hold on.
You okay? So hold on. You want to do? Dude,
you're talking about the case.
Box link, you fucking loser.
You're talking about the case. You're talking about the case that was going around Twitter the other week
where that Loaderbox linked me.
Where a grooming gang that quadruple penetrated a 12-year-old or something got 3 to 5 years, according to some Twitter post. But it wasn't even true. If you went and looked up the case, the guy who facilitated it got life.
That's not even what I'm talking about.
Okay, go for it then.
Rape sentences. UK.
Do you mean the prosecution guidelines, where it's like the basic guidelines up to 7 years?
Government fucking website saying that the average length of sentencing is 4 to 19 years.
4 to 19. That's a pretty big range, Connor. The average sentencing is 4 to 19 years. That's what it says. That sounds like a retarded fucking webpage you're reading, Connor. I don't know where you found that.
It's your country's website, you
4 to 19 years is the average. Show me that. Show me that. Send me that right now.
It's
the average sentence is 4 to 19 years.
Stuart Mills Solicitors. It's your fucking lawyers.
It's my lawyers. It's my lawyers.
Yeah, they're in the UK.
Destroy him.
Kuihman.
I don't think, does it matter whether or not we want to talk about the pedantic argument of whether or not he should be on a registry?
Well, whether or not Europe is loose on fucking rapists, which no, it's a side tangent.
Yeah, I don't think it's even that relevant. Obviously,
okay,
at least publicly.
Kuihman wants everybody who's shared a fucking nude to be a sex offense register. Okay, got it. So in Steven's case, actually, this is the question. Yeah, how long do you think he should be incarcerated, Kuihman?
How long should he be in prison?
He's dead.
No,
I'm not particularly invested in a particular length of
how long should Steven be incarcerated for the offenses that you currently know about?
I don't have like a particular length of time for incarceration. I think prison time would be good.
You spineless
I am owning it. I do think he should go. I do think he should go to prison. I do think he should be on the register. That's what I'm owning.
There's an argument to be made that he actually I don't think that he would benefit from prison time. I think it would behoove the world
no incarceration.
to have
he just
him
has to go
on
live on pedophile
a registry.
Island.
No, I think it would be a good idea for him to not face jail time. He's not going to get jail time, but I think having a permanent marker on his record when any girl he ever dates or has sex with Googles his name, that there is something that says that he has done this. Yeah, I do believe that is absolutely completely fair to do.
Okay. So, all right, just summarizing your guys' perspective. You think that when Steven moves into a new apartment complex, he should have to walk around to all of his neighbors and say, hey, just to let you know, I'm on the sex offender registry.
Yep.
You think that he should be registered onto a website where people know his address? Do you think that he should have to tell every single partner that he has going forward that he's a sex offender?
Yep.
And you don't think that he should be incarcerated for his very serious crimes, but he should 100% have like his housing and possibilities of employment extremely limited.
So not every sex offender has to announce themselves to their neighbors and community.
Great.
So he actually wouldn't have to do that. Do I think that every time a woman Googles his name that she should see that? Yeah, absolutely. Yes.
Okay. Very cool. Thank you for coming on and sharing your guys' opinion on how much punishment Destiny deserves. Very nice.
Well, I mean,
you haven't given any opinions, so.
No, I've given you quite a bit of opinions. As a matter of fact,
you've dodged reasoning. You've dodged giving any basis for them repeatedly. Every time I ask you a question,
please ask me a direct question, and I will give you a direct answer.
Yeah. Do you think Destiny's a sexual predator?
I already said no.
Okay. Why? When you said that if you get up to like 6 or like a dozen people, why is that the marker? But Destiny with 5, you can't start to make that determination.
Because according to a summary of Florida laws and definitions,
is that how you? That's
how repeated offenders of people convicted of first-degree felonies, while a sex offender is a person convicted of certain sex crimes.
Recording
so
someone.
I think
it actually is a first-degree felony to record someone without their consent.
I said he's maybe a sex offender. I don't think he's a sex predator, according to the definition that I just looked up.
Okay, so what he did with Cherry,
hold on.
if it's
I need to point
answer live.
I need to point this out to your audience because I need to know that you're actually just an argumentative bitch, but you don't actually like understand the words that you're saying. So you said, Connor, you haven't owned a position this entire conversation. And not only did I...
Yeah, because you've deflected even in that. I can run you through how you deflected. So basically what you did is you pulled up a specific legal definition for Florida about what a sexual predator is. But if you search sexual predator definition anywhere on the internet, that's not the definition you'll get. You'll get something more like this. A sexual predator is a person who obtains or tries to obtain sexual contact with another person in an abusive or predatory manner. The term is often used to describe people who commit sex crimes, such as rape.
Okay, so I'm going to say what I'm going to say anyways. Okay. So you asked me for opinion. I gave you the same opinion 20 minutes ago. I answered your question directly. 2 minutes ago, you accused me of not owning a single stance in this entire conversation.
Yeah, because Connor, what you said a minute ago was that with enough
loser fucking audience understand that you lied about something that happened in this conversation.
I didn't lie about anything.
Still like sweep,
a position you also took. So Connor,
sweeping for Destiny. A position that you were wrong about something.
So Connor, a position you also took in this conversation was that given enough recordings, sexual recordings, you would consider someone to be sexually predatory. Now you've walked that back because these would be third-degree felonies that would never meet your definition for sexual predator. But a moment ago, you were actually willing
time to read the fucking definition because you kept interrupting.
Connor,
like a
you can find many different definitions of sexual predator. That one you've pulled up isn't the only one. I'm asking, what's your definition of sexual predator, Connor? Because you gave a different one earlier.
Your stance should not be Google. Your stance should not be, I Googled this.
Yeah, my stance isn't Google. My stance is the Goldman-Wetzel Law Office interpretation of Florida laws and definitions. You guys love lawyers. I know you guys love Pisco. You love Pisco Liddy.
So you've just
Liddy tonight.
So Connor, you've just decided your definition of sexual predator just tonight, reading that.
So you admit he's a sexual offender.
I will admit that he's likely a sexual offender. And by the way, here's the thing. By the way, here's the thing. Y'all also probably need to come up with the Florida state statute that actually convicts him of something. Because right now, because there's a gap in the law, like there's what do they call it?
Wait, I have a question. And you're gonna love this.
There's voyeurism. That's a charge, but the statute doesn't apply.
He's just
then there's cybersexual stalking, which doesn't apply.
He just
got seems like the law that Sherry might be able to prosecute under is a non-consensual recording. So if you guys are so convinced that he's a sexual offender, I would love to see a fucking crime that he's violated.
I'm calling him a predator, and I don't base it off of the law. I'm going off of sexually predatory actions he's taken because I have a definition of sexual predator that doesn't rely on the law. I have like a moral definition of it.
So
yeah, correct. Yes.
I think Stephen definitely has sex with women who have that don't have the agency to say yes to Stephen. Yes, I would actually die on that hill.
Okay, completely. so I'll ask you another question.
I have a question first, Connor. I have a question first.
Do you think Anna is so retarded that she can't consent?
I don't think it's so retarded. I think that there's multiple things going on. I wouldn't maybe put Anna in that bucket, but I would put someone like Baby Peach in that bucket, someone who I think should have like a caretaker who lives with them. He should not be having sex with. Yeah. And not only that, but taking videos with her and sending videos to her of other people as well. Yes, I believe that like is genuinely probably some form of rape. She's like obviously to the point where I don't think she should live alone. So, yeah, I think that that's also proof that he's a sexual predator. But what I was going to ask is, okay, let's say that I did lie about Hassan. Let's say that I completely lied.
Do not walk it back, please.
No, I'm not walking back. Let's say that I lied. Am I then a liar?
Yeah.
Okay, so if Steven sexually predated on someone, does that make him a sexual predator?
I'm not going with your fucking gay ass lame fucking layman.
No one is destiny. No one is destiny.
Okay.
But Vosh is a pedophile. But Vosh is a pedophile, though. Vosh and Food Shops are pedophiles. He'll use. Dude, this is hilarious, dude. You want the legal definition of sexual predator for Destiny, but when Food Shops watches Lolly, it's not the clinical definition of pedophile. It's just you're a pedophile. That's interesting, isn't it, Connor? That's interesting. When it's Destiny, it's a completely different set of standards.
I was listening to a Kuihman stream the other day, and I heard Kuihman in a very calm voice say, if you're jerking off to cartoon children, there's a higher than average chance that you probably have proclivities that are antisocial and you might be a pedophile.
Yep. 100%.
I heard that from Kuihman.
Yeah, I wouldn't state it as fact, though. I wouldn't use it as my definition of pedophile does not encompass just people who say they look at Lolly.
It's so easy. As a woman, I'm looking at some of you fucking degenerates and I'm like, it's so easy to never do shit like that. It's so easy to like never... It's actually so easy to never record a video of someone you're having sex with and distribute it. It's so easy to like never watch porn or like Lolly. Like it's actually so easy to avoid these things. And to seek them out means that you already have a pathology. To be someone who feels comfortable enough to take a video in your pocket of multiple people in your sexual instances with them and send them, that suggests something that I, as someone with empathy, cannot even fathom. I can't even fathom doing something like that. Obviously, there are people who have very sociopathic tendencies. I think that Steven will do this again. There's no doubt in my mind that he will do it again. There's no doubt in my mind. So to be on a registry is the answer.
I don't think he needs even jail time. I think he'd love jail, actually. There's so much cock to suck. I think he'd love it. I think that genuinely everyone should be warned about him, and I think the social fallout from something like this also will follow him forever, and I'm very happy about that. And that's all I have to say on it. And also, my heart goes out to the victims who were genuinely, of course, I probably believe myself to be a low-tier victim. I believe even Connor to be a low-tier victim. Everyone who I know in this orbit, I think, is a low-tier victim of Destiny and his sadism. But my heart genuinely goes out to Cherry, who is clearly a victim. I hope that she gets justice. I hope Pixie gets all the money she's asking for, or more. And I hope that Steven loses access to every single woman in the world. I hope he never has sex again. So that's all I have to say about that, and I'm probably going to leave.
Okay. What I think is that there are obviously like super serious things here. And not only that, I would say that if you actually watch the stream going through the information that we went through, I think that the Nicholas Diorio offline chat things from Destiny effectively show that he's not contrite, that he's not apologetic, and that he probably doesn't feel remorse about what he did. And so as a result, the thing that I would need to see in order to continue to associate is actual contrition, actual apology, actually trying to make it right with the victims, all that kind of stuff.
Have you seen what he's done since?
What's that?
Have you seen what he's done since?
No.
What, like the things he's posted in DGG? He said that Pixie just wants his money. He said like he told someone like that he fucked his mom. Like complete and utter just like disregard, doubling down. Like it's starting. Like he's spiraling. He's like not apologetic whatsoever. He said I don't even want to do anything like this anymore. I'm on Vyvanse. My dick barely works. Like that was his excuse, is that like now that he's on Vyvanse, he like doesn't want to like rape anymore.
Right. Which I think saying it was a year ago and I got my medicine would not be an acceptable argument for anyone else. And so it's not an acceptable argument here. Right. So if we're not actually getting, so if we're actually not getting contrition.
Is that your beautiful wife?
Yes, it is.
Tell her I said hello.
Yeah, she is great. So hi, Lav. You're her favorite Twitter shit poster, by the way.
She's my favorite in general.
Right. So anyways, oh, and by the way, sorry, I'm going to be mean here. All you fucking nerd, I'm just gonna say the F slur. All you nerd fucking in my fucking chat coming over from fucking Kuihman or wherever the fuck you're coming from.
It's Jason.
I'm already beating y'all.
Jason's
okay? In life. I have 2 children. I have a job that pays my bills. I have a decent YouTube channel that's doing well. So, you know, yourselves. Anyways, decent YouTube channel.
Well, thank God for
what
that.
Was the next part? So, got raped by a twink. Do you think you could rape me, Kuihman? In real life?
If I tried, I think I could have a chance.
Do you know Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu?
No, I'm taking out for a drink though, slipping something in.
Just getting gay.
Okay, all right. Yeah, then you go on the fucking Reddit. Oh, Lav escaped. All right. Well, what else you got?
I mean, nothing. I just don't understand what you've jumped around on definitions this whole time and wouldn't stand on anything. It's very disappointing.
You asked me whether or not I saw.
You had a very clear definition of sexual predator in one moment, and then the next moment you're like, "Oh, actually, I need to look up what the Florida legal definition of sexual predator is before I can."
Yeah, and I told you I didn't think he fit them both times because I used the lay definition and then I googled the
it could be fit your layman's definition that you did give the first time around, right?
No.
Why not?
Why not?
Yeah,
because I associate predation with infinitely more aggressive behavior than fucking sharing.
So it just doesn't feel like predation. That's your argument.
Correct.
Okay.
I was going off of vibes.
Yeah, I think I figured that out a while ago.
Okay. Very cool.
All right. Well, good chatting to you, Connor. I'll catch you later.
All right. Have fun.
See ya. Wow. Thank you for the $5. Guys, I haven't read donos in ages. I'm going to go over them now. Check Mr. Girl's tweet about you. What? Nah. I think Lav and Kuihman should be put on the sex offender registry for what they're doing to Connor right now. Okay, dude.